Hello, everyone, and welcome to Donald Trump's rally in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Actual Old Forge. This is right next to Scranton, which is Joe Biden's home state. And we are here today at the Mariotti Building Products Center. And I'm here with my fellow co-worker, Liz Willis. And we have a pretty good show of support today among many of the Trump fans here. And we actually have one of them with us here today. He is the head of the Bikers for Trump. And Miss Liz Willis, would you like to ask this man some questions?
Thank you, Alex. It's great to be here. It's a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. Keep in mind, this is a closed event. It is private. So those who are here are actually just spectating. They're showing their support for President Trump. And I think that goes a long way to show you that even though a lot of these people won't be getting inside today, they are still here for that small hope and that chance of being able to see their president, wave to him, and make sure that he knows Pennsylvania stands for President Trump. We're going to move right into some questions and get to know some of the patriots that are here today showing their support. First and foremost, we have one of the man in charge with Bikers for Trump. Dwayne, why don't you reintroduce yourself, a little bit about you and where you're from?
Hello, I'm Dwayne McDavitt. I'm from Larksville, Pennsylvania. I represent Bikers for Trump, Pennsylvania, and the eastern part of the United States. Bikers for Trump, I've been with them since 2016. Chris Cox, our founder, him and I become very good friends, so I travel around to where the president will be and show my support and get all these bikes to come with us.
How did you get involved personally with Bikers for Trump?
I got involved with Bikers for Trump when Trump first came to Pennsylvania. His very first visit after his announcement, he came to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, down the farm show. That's where I met Chris Cox. That's how I became a Bikers for Trump. Right after Harrisburg, he came up to Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, up to the Mohegan Sun Arena. Next thing you know, I have 1,000 motorcycles behind me. Pennsylvania Bikers for Trump has started.
That's incredible. So what is the mission behind Bikers for Trump? We know that, like you said, they've been around since 2016. There was a lot of negativity and threats facing Donald Trump as soon as he was elected to presidency. I remember, for me, the first time I heard about them, it was, I think, during the inauguration. There were a lot of threats, really just threats, all different types. And they said, well, you know what? If y'all are going to keep protesting, doing that, we're just going to drive on up our motorcycles from across the country and protect the president ourselves if no one else is willing to do it. Would you say that still stands, or what are y'all doing now?
That definitely still stands. If people are going to threaten the President of the United States, they're threatening every patriot in this country, not just Bikers for Trump. Every single veteran, law enforcement, and every patriot. Sorry about that.
One moment, we do have some announcements, some security protocols, so we are going to move back per law enforcement.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I believe this group is getting bigger than what anyone anticipated, so we're stepping back, so we're farther away from the main road right now that is right outside the venue that President Trump will be speaking in today. So President Trump's event is private today. Do you have any plans on getting in, or are you just excited to be standing out here in close proximity to the venue?
I am excited to be out with the people. I would love to be inside. The problem with being inside is the capacity with our Governor Wolf, who put it down to 250 people out in the building, which isn't right as far as I'm concerned. I was able to get to the airport. I have a pass to be to the airport to meet the President of the United States, but the problem is all my men are here. All the patriots are here. All the Bikers for Trump are here. I can't leave my men behind. There is no way I'm leaving all these bikers behind so I can go up and see the president land. I would love to do it. I have the opportunity, but as you can see, there's thousands of people here, and I can't leave.
There's Bikers for Trump, at least some form of them, almost everywhere I go when I'm covering President Trump's events. So what is it about President Trump that encourages you all to get out, to be, no pun intended, so driven and so passionate about POTUS?
He's basically one of us. He may not be a biker, but he's from blue-collar working. He believes in the blue-collar man, construction, getting our country running. He believes in our military, and he believes in our law enforcement. He's the man that we need behind us. He is the man who will back us.
And what do you think of the current DNC? This will be the third night, I believe, of the 100% virtual Democratic National Convention that's going on. Of course, Biden will be receiving his official nomination tonight. He'll be giving his speech. Do you think that's been successful so far?
I've watched some of it. It's more of like a telethon than it is a convention. It's more a lot of crying, a lot of whining, a lot of, well, for one, I'm just going to pull it out. Michelle Obama spoke from her $12 million mansion and said she's depressed at what's going on in Pennsylvania, that she is so depressed with these poor people in the country. For her to sit in that multi-million-dollar home with a $60 million book book deal and a $120,000 Netflix deal, $120 million Netflix deal, I'm sorry. She feels sorry for us? If that's not privilege, what is? This is a privileged woman who's thinking that she's going to get on stage on TV and cry that, oh, I feel you, I know your pain. No, she doesn't.
No, I agree. I was watching former President Barack Obama's speech last night. He was trying to discredit the upper class and saying that we live a luxurious lifestyle and trying to appeal to the lower class. He has a house in Martha's Vineyard, so you can't take that really seriously.
Right, he's just a $12 million home. I support any president of the United States when they're the president of the United States, but my most respect so far, this is really the first presidency that I became really political with. This is the first man who because I followed him as a child.
Me too.
I love Donald Trump. I think he's a great man. What he's done to New York City was fantastic. What he owns around the world is unbelievable. He's a good man. He has a good heart. People complain about his bankruptcies, but people don't understand with New Jersey, for one, Atlantic City went bankrupt. In order to save his employees and their health insurance, he had to file for bankruptcy. He used the laws to his advantage to help people. He will help. He stopped on the side of the road, helped somebody change a tire, if you remember that story. He's a good man. He's got good values and the same values as I have.
So do you think Pennsylvania's going to go red in 2020? Really, what do you think? Not just what you hope.
I think it's better than last time. Pennsylvania put him over the top last time. I believe we do it again. He is not going to win Luzerne County or Lackawanna County. As far as Pennsylvania goes, I'm sorry. We are here to back President, and from what I've seen from traveling with Bikers for Trump, there are more supporters out there than we know of. You get out riding on these bikes and these big rallies, it's support, support, support. You could see Trump signs on people's houses all over the place. You may find one Biden sign. Okay? Where I live, it's all Trump. I had signs delivered to my house, yard signs. It took one day to get rid of 450 of them. I put one message up on Facebook. I have yard signs, 450. In 6 hours, we're gone.
No, it's a really good point, especially being 10 miles from Biden's hometown. We saw one house with Biden signs this morning on our way here today.
The thing is with Biden saying he's from Scranton, Pennsylvania, I just read an article in a local newspaper that he lived here for 4 years. Two gentlemen he grew up with, they were friends, which, hey, we're all kids. I understand that. He left here at the age of 10. He lived here for 4. His family was from Delaware. They moved back to Delaware to get a job, which, hey, if you have to move, you have to move. But please, stop telling us you're from Scranton, Pennsylvania. You're from Delaware.
You don't want to claim him.
I do not want to claim the man, no. Listen, 47 years in politics has done nothing for anybody. 8 years as a vice presidency under Barack Obama, couldn't fix anything. If he knew what to do for the United States then, why didn't he tell Barack what to do? Apparently they don't know what to do. And Trump does have that magic wand to make our economy come back.
Puppet's a little bit of a puppet of a politician is what I like to think. Kind of just a shell for the Democratic Party.
He's definitely a shell. I believe that the man is on the onset of dementia. He can't think straight. He can't complete a straight sentence. He can't think on his feet. I can't wait for the first debate.
Oh, me either.
Okay,
final question. I keep thinking that I'm going to finish and let you go, but I like talking to you. Final question. Do you think they're actually going to debate?
I hope they do. I really think Joe Biden's going to back out of this. The Democrats do not want him to debate Donald Trump because he will destroy him on stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Verbally. And I'm not saying badmouth him. Joe Biden cannot think on his feet. He can't think of policies. It's not there. And as far as Kamala Harris goes, I'm sorry, the woman does not deserve to be the vice president of the United States. She couldn't do her job in California. And she's going to try to take care of the whole United States. If he gets in, it's the downfall of the United States. We will be taken over by another country, which, in my words, is a new world order.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dwayne. I'm going to let you get back to all your Bikers for Trump. I'm going to hand the microphone back over to my coworker, Alex. He's going to continue interviewing some people. Alex, what do you think so far?
I am not very astonished by all of the support here because Trump has quite a base who likes to follow him. A lot of these people might not even get in. Yet they still came here to support the president. You're not going to see this crowd on CNN, MSNBC, ABC. You're not going to see any of this. We are one of the only networks who actually show you the crowds before. The media likes to tell you that President Trump is down 10 points in the polls. President Trump doesn't have a chance. Where have we heard this before? If I think back 4 years ago, I seem to recall them making that same argument in 2016. Hillary Clinton was going to beat Donald Trump no matter what. The New York Times, I believe, had her winning 98% chance of winning. 538 with Nate Silver had her winning about 75% chance of winning. But yet, Donald Trump seemed to win. And we have a very similar political climate these days. We have hundreds of people that I can see. We might have even more down there of people supporting President Trump. So do you think the polls are accurate? That's the big question. And judging by the crowd size, I don't seem to think that they are. Like Liz was saying, when we were driving here, we saw maybe one house, maybe two houses with Biden signs. And this is Joe Biden's hometown. And we've seen maybe one or two houses with Biden signs. We have seen Trump signs from sea to shining sea in this area, just full of American flags, Trump flags, people wearing Trump attire, businesses even with Trump flags and Trump signs. So it's obvious where the support lies, and it's obvious where the base is in terms of who has the most support. In fact, CNN actually released a poll a few days ago saying that President Trump has less enthusiasm than Joe Biden, yet if you went to Joe Biden's rally pre-coronavirus, we had maybe 10, 11 people. And if you went to Donald Trump's rally, you had maybe 5,000, 6,000 people, maybe more, who were outside of the venue because they couldn't get into it because it was already overcrowded with the 20,000 people who had already gotten in. So I think we might be getting another interview. I see Liz over here talking to Americans over here.
All right. He's nervous, so be gentle, okay?
Oh, that's all right.
He can give a quick shout out.
It's okay. Would you like to give a quick shout out?
It's just so awesome to see all these people here, especially the group of bikers with Trump. They come out here to support the president because, well, Trump's winning right now.
Oh, yes, he is. What's your name?
Anonymous.
That's all right. That's a smart kid. Well, and a lot of people have expressed their support for him publicly, and a lot of them have been fired from their job. They've lost friends. Their houses have been vandalized.
I think that's kind of stupid for them people, again, losing their jobs over just liking Trump. You know, it's a personal opinion.
Well, we have freedom of speech in this country, but it only seems to ever apply to one side. So could you tell us, how old are you?
13?
You're 13 years old. That's amazing. How did you end up getting involved in politics? What attracts you to President Trump at such a young age?
My grandfather always said that Trump was the best because anyone he goes up against wants to make Biden. He says Biden is going to make this country a socialist, communist party. And we don't want that. I like to be my free country.
Exactly. And you know what? It's Americans like you, young Americans like you, that are the future of our country and the hope behind making a country great again. So I thank you so much. Do you plan to ever get involved in politics?
I would like to keep supporting my presidents. I don't think I'll ever be a politic, but I'll get into the military.
That's fantastic. If President Trump was here with you right now, what would you say to him?
Keep going. It's an amazing thing he's doing, and I'm glad he's coming to small towns because it makes the people from the small towns show their support instead of just going to big towns having riots and stuff. If people are doing like him, coming to small towns that support him is much better than going to big towns that have riots against him. You know, everything that's going on against him, coming to small towns is really good for him.
You're absolutely correct on that. You know, you are a very well-spoken individual, and you don't seem nervous whatsoever. I'd say that this is a very good first interview for you. This is your first interview, correct?
Yeah, I've been in the newspaper a few times.
So you're experienced, I see. Well, you have a very good way with words. You're very articulate, and I really appreciate having the time to talk to you today. And if you ever get the chance to interview again, have some confidence because you're a very good speaker, and I think you'll do a very good job. And I wish you all the luck in the world in joining the military. So thank you so much for talking. And enjoy the day.
Thank you. Alex is going to do a musical number.
You're going to do a musical number for us.
I'm going to warm up some other
We're going to do
All right, sounds good.
a song we all should know, and I have to take my hat off for this song, because this isn't about me or you, it's about country. United States of America. I'm going to play this on my harmonica. As soon as I turn the harp around. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Thank you, America. Thank you.
That was
Thank
very
you for-
impressive. Thank you very
for
much.
A good life, America.
What's your name?
Eddie.
Eddie. Nice to meet you, Eddie. When do you plan on releasing your album?
Next year about this time. Yeah.
Next year about this time when President Trump is back in office?
That's right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Well,
You caught me by surprise. Like, okay, now I have to calm down. All right. Yeah, when Donald Trump is back, and President Donald Trump is back in office again. Yeah. And like I said, it's about America. It's not about me or a harmonica playing. It's about my nieces, my nephews, and all the young kids, all the young citizens of New York, of America, and that they have the same freedoms that we've enjoyed, and that's right from here. I mean, yeah.
well, thank you very much. That was beautiful, and I really appreciate taking the hat off and everything. That's true patriotism. We don't have enough people who do that nowadays, and a lot of people even think it's a good idea to kneel when people play the national anthem. So I appreciate we only kneel for God, and I appreciate everyone around me who stood up, who took their hats off, and who listened to this gentleman play. It was very good, and I thank you again for coming on.
All right, thank you, Alex. Great job. We're actually going to migrate over a little bit. We have a group of people. It's actually a mother and a father, Marissa and Jose. They have their 5 children here today with signs Latinos for Trump. So they are going to speak to us, and we'll see a little bit about what brought them out here today to show support for President Trump. Follow me. Okay, hello, we're back. Again, I'm Liz Willis with Right Side Broadcasting Network. I was hoping just to ask your beautiful family some questions, see what inspired y'all to get out here today and show your support for President Trump. Could you begin just by your name and where you're from?
Sure, I'm Melissa from Jessup, Pennsylvania.
And how far away is Jessup from here?
It's about a 20-minute drive.
Okay, that's really pretty close. Were you surprised when President Trump chose to come to Old Forge, Pennsylvania, or were you expecting a stop here on his campaign route?
Not very surprised. He has come to Northeast PA before, so yeah, we're not too surprised. Yeah.
Your family can be seen?
Yep.
If that's okay, I don't know.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you brought your children here today. How many of them are there?
I have 5 children and my husband, Jose, and we're all here supporting the president and hoping that he would take a look into reforming immigration, something that Congress hasn't been able to get a hold on for over decades. And it's time that, we get a hold on it and families can be put together and be reunited and perhaps build a wall to strengthen border security to prevent other families going through what we had to go through. It's been a long time and many years, and many families are waiting for Congress to make moves, and they're just not doing that. And we have faith that our president can maybe make some moves for immigration, hopefully, and for the families here that are trying to do it the right way.
Is there a personal connection between your family and immigration laws that make you passionate about this for a reason?
Their father, and then my husband here, he's still awaiting, an interview, and Congress has just put everything on hold right now, and, we're just trying to live the American dream and do it the right way, and so are many other immigrant families that have come here, and they're just being blocked. So we hope our president can maybe reform immigration or do amnesty one more time, kind of like Reagan did, except this time follow up with a wall.
Is your family, the signs all say Latinos for Trump, would you say they're very supportive of President Trump and the immigration policies they do stand behind? Because a lot of people think just the opposite, that if you're a Latino or a person of color or a minority that you can't support President Trump for some reason. So what would you say to them?
Well, that's false. And again, if you look at the immigration policies, we've been going through this for decades and decades. And President Trump hopefully can get a hold on it and maybe give amnesty one more time for families and everything, and then lock up the border and moving forward, get a hold on immigration, something we haven't been able to do in this country for a very long time. And there's been a lot of immigrants that have came through the Obama administration, the Bush administration. Most of them were deported. They were never given a chance in court. They're shut down. And, there are families here. There are people that are paying their taxes here. And, we're left in the shadows and stuff. And, we really need to get a hold on immigration, get the people that have been here for a very long time. Their stories need to be heard. Their families need to be reunited. and they're very, a lot of Latinos, I can't speak for a lot of them, but they're God-fearing, Americans, and, they want the right thing for this country, too. We appreciate the police. We appreciate, maybe making the wall, to prevent any further illegal immigration, which in turn does hurt families. So it does.
Very well said and well educated. We can tell this means a lot to you and your family. We see different signs, so I'm going to ask you each about your sign that you're carrying and why you chose to do that one. Would that be okay?
Yeah, the black set, I can tell her that one is from Candace Owens, and it's Latinos and the black community is actually leaving, they call it the Democratic Party here, and just realizing Trump is for everybody. It doesn't have to, it's not about being a color, it's about being American and being proud who you are, being a patriot, and just loving this country. I'm tired of it always being separated by color and by race. It's too much now. We're Americans. We should be proud. Yep.
And you have a beautiful family, very beautiful American family. I think that one's my favorite sign, though. Babies for Trump.
That's right. That has more than one meaning, because we're a pro-life family here, and he supports the president. This is our country, and we just want what's right for the immigrants here that are fighting the right way. For the president to notice that we do back him up.
Great, thank you, and I'm sure the president loves to see it. Thank you for being out here today, supporting the president of the United States. Stay cool. Oh, hi, of course. What's up?
I want everybody to be happy in this country, and I want the president to help my dad with immigration.
I'm going to cry. Well, I hope the president does get to help your dad with immigration, and I hope you know that you are so welcome here. We love you guys, and your family is beautiful.
Thank you.
God bless America. Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to need a minute. Where's Alex? All right, and Alex, back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Liz. And as you can see, we still have many people of every background, of every color here supporting President Trump. And this gentleman over here was just telling me that it goes down for maybe 3 blocks down there of people supporting him. So we've got quite a lot of support here. And especially since it is a really hot day out here today, it's probably about 80 degrees. You have many people here wearing a lot of, I'm wearing a suit. You have other people wearing long sleeves. But nothing can deter anybody from coming out here. The weather, none of that. Liz and our cameraman Gage were actually just in Arizona 2 days ago, and it was 114 degrees there, and yet people still came to the rally. So that just goes to show you that nothing can deter anybody. Hot weather, protesters, nothing. So, Liz, how about another interview? Do you think we should go search for some more people?
Did you get them?
Well, hi, would you like to participate in an interview?
Yes, please.
All right, can you tell everybody your name, please?
I'm Luther Rahman.
All right, and so what brought you to today's rally?
I love President Trump.
You do? What do you feel President Trump how do you feel President Trump has done so far in delivering on his promises?
Yeah, he has done excellent. He has done more than he was promised.
Now, you are somebody with dark skin. Have you faced backlash for supporting the president due to that? Because many believe that you should fall in line and you should vote Democratic based on your skin color. Have you faced any backlash because of that?
No. We are going to vote for all our country people. They are going to vote for President Trump this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you feel nervous at all that people are going to have backlash against you and maybe try to harm or threaten you guys because of your support?
Yes, I am scared, and I feel shame because why can't I wear the President Trump shirt and walk on the street? Mm-hmm. Why I have to scare? That was the question for all American. Mm-hmm. I have a question for all American because I wasn't born here. I live in here almost 8 years. So right. I'm an immigrant American. Mm-hmm. So I scared too. I can put my sign. I live in Delaware County. So I cannot put my Trump sign on my yard because I scared.
Right. Now, President Trump has done a lot with immigration, and he has been trying to create more opportunities for immigrants to come in legally. Do you feel that it's fair for people to come into this country illegally and get benefits when you obviously came in here legally?
Yeah, I definitely come illegally, and I strongly agree with our president because we don't need illegal people here, and we don't need drug dealers. We don't need the people who are committed crime in this country. So I am completely agree with our President Trump.
And do you think he's been delivering on a lot of his promises in regards to immigration, building the wall, creating opportunities for immigrants?
Yes, he does. He does create a lot of opportunity for us.
And do you feel like America has been a welcoming place for you? Do you feel like a lot of Trump supporters have been welcoming of you? Because there's a narrative in the media that says Trump supporters are racist and they don't support minorities.
No, not at all. They are racist. The media is fake. I'm sorry to say. Excuse my language. Because I can do. They have been supporting us. President Trump has done. The Republican has done more than any other political party for the immigrant.
I agree with you there. And do you think that Joe Biden, with his record on civil rights and Kamala Harris's record on civil rights, do you feel like they've earned the vote of immigrants or minorities in this country?
No, not at all. Especially from my country, Bangladesh, for Trump. No, we are going to 85% people will vote for President Trump this year.
Well, thank you very much for coming on and interviewing with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Take care so much. Thank you.
Thanks again, Alex. I'm going to step to the side for just a moment to go over a little bit more about RSBN and to thank the viewers for tuning in. It's getting a little bit more crowded here today, but for those who are new or just now turning in, again, my name is Liz Willis. We are live here today with Right Side Broadcasting Network in Old Forge, Pennsylvania, where President Trump is scheduled to give remarks on Joe Biden's failures in politics at 3 p.m. Eastern time here today. So we are, despite the large crowds, we still have about 2 hours before President Trump is scheduled to take the stage. Keep in mind, Right Side Broadcast Network is almost entirely viewer funded, meaning we rely on your donations to cover the cost of travel and transportation, just everything from rally to rally. We get our message out and our streams out to millions of people and help spread. Actually, that's way cooler than me. Some little ponies. Okay, we're not going to show that. I sound insane. Some officers just came by on horseback and I got distracted. Okay, I love animals. Time out. I wish this was not live so we could re-edit that. Anyways, so there's a number of ways you can donate to Right Side Broadcasting Network. The first way is by clicking that $sign in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube Super Chat. The second way is by going to our website. That's www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. A third way is a non-electronic way, so you can actually send a check to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. Those are three of the main ways to donate to us financially. If that's not an option for you guys, I know times are tough for a lot of not just Americans, but people everywhere in the world right now. Thanks, China. You can help us out just by liking the stream, sharing the screen, making sure that you're subscribed to our channel, and by commenting. So any comment really does help boost our algorithm and get us onto the Explore page or the Share page. It allows us to get new organic viewers. So we'd be really excited and appreciative about that. A fun thing to say is that today is actually our final day of the Disney Coins giveaway. We want to say thank you to our partners at Disney Coins. That's DISME coins.com. They are a precious metals company specializing in 1 ounce, 2 ounce coins and 4 ounce silver bars. Also copper keychains. So really anything you think of that involves a coin, they make it. It is made by Americans on machines made in America. Really a patriotic company. They actually give 10% of all profits back to conservative organizations. So as a conscious consumer, it's really important to know where your money is going nowadays, and this will leave your money in good hands, as well as you having a tangible product to share with your friends and family. Check out disneycoins.com, look at the products, use code RSBN for a discount at checkout, and while you're there, guys, this is completely free and no catch, anything like that. I can't encourage you enough to go sign up for it. There is a giveaway, so click the giveaways tab on the left hand side of the screen. You'll see it for this week. This is in honor of the DNC. President Trump is making all these campaign stops, taking away a lot of the media attention from Joe Biden's DNC, whatever you want to call this virtual thing. And in honor of that, Disney Coins wants to give away hundreds of dollars worth of products back to you guys. So enter your name and email, and then we will announce the 3 main winners immediately following President Trump's remarks here today in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. Sign up. We'll be watching that, and I'll be talking to you more a little bit later. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me. I'm on Twitter at Liz Willis, and I'm on Instagram at Liz Willis, LIZWILLIS. Again, if you have questions, whether it's Disney, how to donate, or what we're doing here today, then message me. I'd be happy to help. Also, keep in mind this stream is going to be simultaneous, meaning you do not have to go anywhere. We will go from being outside here to being inside with President Trump and his remarks, the Star-Spangled Banner, Pledge of Allegiance, everything flawlessly. There might be some playbacks while we're going through Secret Service, but you don't have to do anything, so keep the screen right where it's at. I'm going to hand the microphone back over to my coworker Alex, who's got some interviews to do.
Looks like we're going to interview. Thank you very much, Liz. And I'm standing here with a gentleman in a very nice T-shirt, if I might say so myself. Would you mind telling everybody your name, sir?
My name is Edward X. Young, middle initial X.
And you were telling me earlier, how many miles did you drive to get here?
I drove about 180 miles to get here from South Jersey, Ocean County, New Jersey, Brick Township.
That's quite a distance, and considering the media says that Trump has no support and no energy behind him, the gentleman traveled 180 miles to come see him. So,
and I gave up a day of work. I gave up a day's pay.
So you even have that. So you're dressed up in a lot of Trump attire. Could you tell me, have you ever faced backlash for wearing such attire?
Yes, I have. I actually worked as a volunteer for the Trump campaign in New York City in 2015 and 2016. And a lot of the other volunteer workers that would sneak into the building, I would proudly wear my gear. I have been physically assaulted by tolerant, mostly peaceful liberals on numerous occasions. I've had my gear torn out of my hands and destroyed. Like, I still have one of these left. I've had, they came up, I've been punched in the back. I've had bottles thrown at me. I've been spit on right in my face. On one occasion, a friendly pedestrian alerted me to the fact that my jacket was on fire. They came behind me and lit me on fire outside of Trump Tower. But I had like a good Samaritan help me put it out. The jacket was ruined, but this is how extreme these people are.
What would your message be for other people who have experienced similar things that you have experienced in terms of physical assault and violence and harassment?
My advice, if you're being harassed or attacked, well, I mean, if it's a matter of life and death, if it's a matter of being seriously hurt, like what we've seen in Portland with Antifa, I would say if you're pushed into that corner, you should defend yourself by any means necessary. I mean, our laws allow you to use extreme force to neutralize an attacker if your life is in danger. I would suggest that I've always taken the high road. Okay, I'm old now, but even when I was younger, I studied martial arts, but I always took the high road and avoided violence unless necessary. But I hate to say it looks like it's becoming necessary. Now they're out to kill us. I mean, what will happen when he wins? Excuse me, I just inhaled like a bug. But seriously, I mean, how violent will it get in November if and when, God willing, Donald Trump is reelected? They're already burning our cities. They're already like beating people savagely in the streets. Blood has been shed.
So you're telling me you worked for the Trump campaign. How did you get involved in the Trump campaign? What encouraged you to do so?
It's a funny story behind that. On Memorial Day weekend of 2015, I was involved in a very serious car accident. I was badly hurt. The guy who hit me turned out to be an illegal alien driving a borrowed car, who was obviously very intoxicated. He didn't get hurt at all, as fate would have it. This was in Kearney, New Jersey, next to Newark. The cops, of course, didn't arrest him. He never appeared in court. The car wasn't his. But I was lying in a hospital in Newark in traction. My leg was broken, arm was broken, 8 herniated discs, 3 fractured ribs. I mean, I live in pain to this day. I'm full of metal. But while I was lying in the hospital bed and spent a lot of that summer undergoing surgeries, Donald Trump came down the golden escalator and announced his plans for America, and especially his plans on immigration. And I always liked the guy. I mean, I was terrified at the notion that they said that Hillary Clinton was destined to be elected president. And when my friend came to visit me in the hospital, I lived in South Jersey, I said, when I get out of here, you're not taking me home right away. You're taking me into Manhattan because I'm going to Trump Tower and I'm getting one of these hats. And when I went in there, woman behind the counter noticed I was on crutches and pretty badly banged up. And I chose a few of the hats. I have a few different colors. But she said, well, you must really like Mr. Trump. I said, oh, yes, I told her my story briefly. I said, I wish I could work for his campaign. And she said, really? And I said, yes. She goes, you seem kind of enthusiastic. I said, yes. She said, would you mind waiting here for a moment? I said, sure. I waited. I saw her on the phone talking to somebody. Some guys in suits come out with little pins, and they say, well, we understand you'd like to work for the campaign. May we talk to you for 15, 20 minutes? And so they vetted me on the spot, filled out forms. They told me they'd contact me. 3 weeks later, I got a phone call. They said, you're clear. You're welcome to be part of the Trump campaign. And so then because I was on disability, I was able to go in there almost every day by train to work on the campaign. It was the most fulfilling, rewarding venture of my entire life. It was a great adventure.
It does sound really exciting. Now, you coming from southern New Jersey is a very blue state for the most part. It has a Democratic governor, has 2 Democrat senators, it has a Democrat congressional majority. Can you tell us whether or not what kind of support President Trump has in New Jersey?
Well, you know, it's I think it's a lot like Pennsylvania, because I've done business. I've traveled around Pennsylvania a lot. New Jersey's a blue state because of Newark, Trenton, Jersey City, Camden, maybe some major cities, some densely populated areas that are filled with riffraff and illegal aliens and where there's known corruption. The heartland of that state is very pro-Trump. Where I live in Ocean County, I wear this gear and people cheer me. If I'm riding my bicycle, they shout out. If I walk into a bar when they were open, I mean, I get a beer put in front of me, whatever this, get the guy whatever he wants. The people who work, the people who obey the law, patriotic people everywhere support Donald Trump. The Democratic Party is the party of communists and criminals, let's face it.
Do you think President Trump has a chance to make significant gains in New Jersey, or do you think it's going to stick with the establishment, Joe Biden?
Well, yeah, we're worried. I mean, look what was happening in New Jersey. I mean, we had Jeff Van Drew, Congressman, South Jersey, switch parties, disgusted by where the Democratic Party was going. I am concerned with the fact that our governor, who's about the worst and most left-wing governor we've ever had in New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy, the fact that he's really forcing this, I think it might be set in the works. They're going to mail out all the ballots like they did for the primaries. And that'll lend itself to a lot of corruption and ballot box stuffing. Let's face it, it's been done before. But also, nobody can campaign right now. We can't have rallies. We can have small get-togethers, but the conservative candidates have no chance to get out there and meet the people. I think that's really hurting it. A lot of people won't vote, or they'll vote for the status quo, and there is the corruption. I fear that New Jersey might stay blue, solidly blue this time around.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate having the opportunity to interview you. You had a lot of really great things to say, so thank you very much. And I hope you are able to continue sporting your gear without having to worry about facing assault, without having to face harassments. And you were telling me you parked in front of a Biden house, so I hope your tires still remain intact, that they're not flattened by the time you get back there.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
You.
I appreciate it.
I'll give you my card just in case you want to recall my name.
Thank you very much.
I act in horror films, hence I'm holding a severed head. I act in a lot of independent horror movies.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate getting to speak with you. Thank you.
Take care.
Great job, Alex. We have one last interview here today. Save the best for last, right? So right before we head inside to go in for media re-entry, we are going to interview Teddy Daniels, who's got quite a conservative resume behind him, and we'll have him go over all of that in just a second as soon as he's done finishing up his conversation.
I'm friends with you on there. I'll reach out to you.
All right, brother.
All right. So once again, this is the Teddy Daniels. The group here today is very excited about you. Everyone said we had to get you for an interview. So do you mind just introducing yourself again and a little bit about how you're involved in different conservative organizations?
All right, folks. My name's Teddy Daniels. Was a congressional candidate right here in Northeast Pennsylvania. Obviously Republican. You can tell by the shirt.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a little Republican. Actually, I'm a conservative. 15 years, retired as a police officer, enlisted active duty military. Was wounded in Afghanistan in 2012. Started 2 companies, sold 2 companies, was retired. Did not like the way, the direction this country was going. So instead of me sitting around and complaining about it, I wanted to do something about it. So decided to take the leap, run for office, ran for Congress. We were in a 6-man primary, took a tight second. So, hey, who knows what's in the future?
I was going to say, do you think you'll do it again? You said earlier that you won, but then when the mail-in ballots came, it wasn't technically a win.
At the polls, we were up, and then they started to count the mail-ins. And with the COVID situation and everything else, the mail-ins were huge. And I just want to tell everybody out there, you have to go to the polls to vote.
I was going to say, what do you think of all this mail-in ballot stuff?
I think it's another way to try and steal and undermine the election from the president. That's all they're using it for. They never pushed mail-in ballots before like this.
Never.
And now, and let's be honest, yes, COVID is real, okay? But I feel it is 90% political, 10% medical. So, yeah, it's 90% political. I feel the common flu. You could walk out your front door any day, and there's a million things out there that could kill you, okay? More people die by falling off the sidewalk into traffic than they die of COVID. So I don't see a whole mail-in push based on everything else. It's COVID. I think it's politically generated and pushed. And Joe Biden even said the other day, be a patriot, wear your mask for the next 3 months. What happens in 3 months? The general election.
Let's also think if masks help so much, why is he still in his basement or doing this virtual DNC? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Put on your mask and stand out there.
Well, here's the big issue, too. If masks work, why are they releasing criminals? Why are businesses being told, especially in Pennsylvania, it's bad. We got a jackass for a governor, okay? And it's bad, all right? And if you want something funny to take a look at the state of Pennsylvania's Secretary of Health. That's all I'm going to say about that on here, okay? You'll get a good laugh, all right? So, if masks work, why are businesses shut down? Why is social distancing required? Why are prisoners being released from jail if masks work? Now, I'll tell you this. I had, in my company, I supplied for my employees, due to the type of work that we were in, the NATO gas masks with the nuclear, biological, and chemical filters on them. They were about $300 a piece, okay? You know what? That won't even protect you from COVID. These masks, these bandanas, everything that everybody says you have to wear.
I swear mine's dirtier than COVID. Like, that thing has been on the floor of airports.
It's got to be. It's got to be. But you know the one thing is, they don't even the N95 masks, they don't filter anything coming out. So the whole narrative that your mask protects you, my mask protects you, your mask protects me, it's a bunch of BS, okay? Nothing filters the air coming out. It filters going in. So, folks, if you're scared, wrap yourself in bubble wrap. Don't leave the house, okay? Let the rest of this country live like free men and women like they want to live. If you're scared, stay home. And I'm trying to keep my language in check today. But if you're scared, stay home, okay?
Fair. That's why we're donor-based, so you can say whatever you want.
Hey,
but we do try to keep it fun, clean, and family-friendly.
I'm trying.
I'm going to ask you really quickly, just to talk a little bit before we head in for immediate reentry about Veterans for Trump.
Yes.
What it means to you and how people watching can possibly support them.
So Veterans Trump, actually you have Veterans for Trump and Vets for Trump. Vets for Trump is the organization that I represent. We are the nation's largest grassroots veterans organization for the president out there. It was founded in 2015 by Josh Macias, and we have an audience of over 11 million people with the grassroots. Yes, 11 million with Vets for Trump. And let me tell you, being a wounded vet, I was in with Trump since the day he came down the elevator. Now, I was banged up pretty good in Afghanistan, and the VA nearly took my leg. Okay, from combat-related injuries. The VA was going to take my leg.
Is that just the easier route?
They just cut it off. It's easy. My wife fought the VA. Now, my wife, she's a Spitfire from Jersey. Okay, she's further right than I am. And she got on with the phone with VA, and the accent came out. Okay? Due to President Trump's Veterans Choice Program, I was allowed to go outside the VA, get a second opinion. Was able to get a doctor to operate and save my leg.
Can you take photos of that? Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I want to meet your wife. That sounds incredible.
Boy, yeah.
Is she here? You have to at least point her out.
She's right over there with the little guy.
The Jersey Spitfire?
Yeah,
Hello.
the Jersey Spitfire. And my son,
he's
3,
adorable.
You'll love his name. Jack Daniels.
Oh!
Okay? Jack Daniels, and the name matches the attitude, okay? Maybe not right now. He's been out in the sun for a little bit. Hopefully tonight he'll get to bed before 8.
What was the inspiration? Was it just straight whiskey?
No, you know what? We love the name Jack. Always wanted a little boy named Jack. It just so happens my last name's Daniels. So it seemed to fit.
It's cute. I like it. Yeah. So President Trump has worked really hard with veterans, getting the really kind of reform of the VA, allowing you to get second opinions, like what you said. Yeah. How impactful do you think that has been in his success as a politician and to get reelected?
So I'll tell you this. There's been other veterans that have been politicians. President Trump, we know, wasn't a veteran, but he has done more for the VA and more for veterans than any other politician out there. Now, John McCain was a guy who we thought was going to have our back. John McCain was a guy who we thought, hey, this guy's going to look out for the vets. And John McCain came out and said, the VA can handle anything that a veteran needs. But yet, when John McCain came down with brain cancer, he didn't go to the VA, did he? He went right outside the VA. So right then and there, he lost all credibility with the whole VA issue with me. Just because you're in public office, you can, John McCain's 100%. He can go to the VA. He gets his treatment from the VA. But he didn't want to use it for him, but it's good enough for everybody else. And that's the double standard that happens in this country with politicians at all levels, okay? And that's what needs to stop. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And, what you have now is a system where millionaires travel the country and they buy political seats. They buy them, okay? One of the big things that needs to happen in politics is campaign finance reform. You can only spend X amount in a primary and X amount in a general. And when the day comes, when I get there, besides term limits, that's the big thing I'm going to push, because I'm tired of millionaires who don't have a pulse of the people coming into places and buying seats and buying elections. It's wrong. Because all they care about are their buddies. They don't care about us. They care about themselves and what favors they're going to pay. That's all they care about. So I'm passionate about this.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I know, and I think a lot of our viewers will agree with you. So where can our viewers follow you if they want to see your Vets for Trump journey, just your personal journey, or your future congressional campaign journey?
So I have a page called Teddy Daniels, and I also run a podcast. It's called In the Trenches with Teddy Daniels. Okay. So go there, and then if you want to go to the group Vets for Trump PA, there's another group there that they can connect.
Thank you so much, Teddy, for your time. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate
Honor's
that. Thank
mine.
you so much.
You're welcome.
Trump 2020.
You heard it here, folks. This is Alex and I, and we are about to wrap really quickly, head back inside Mariotti Building Products. And we're going to set up for pre-set, eventually bring you all of the pre-speakers as well as President Trump. So we are about an hour and 20 minutes shy of President Trump taking the stage here in Pennsylvania to give his remarks. Don't go anywhere. This stream will be simultaneous. You'll see some playbacks while we're getting set up, and then we'll be live from inside. Alex, any last words?
The crowd here is amazing. A lot of the people here are incredible people. He really has a lot of support in Pennsylvania, despite what the media tells you. I love you too.
Absolutely. I kind of don't want to leave this group, but we do have to go work. So we will be back shortly. Stay tuned.
All right, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to RSBN's coverage of President Trump's campaign event today. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be explosive tonight, especially after the DNC situation last night with Barack Hussein Obama. You're not going to want to miss it. So stay tuned right here. We are currently headed inside. We'll be right back. It shouldn't take us that long today, 20, 30 minutes at the most. We're going to replay some of the interviews from earlier in the day until we get inside. Then we'll be live inside with more live coverage from the national anthem all the way through the end of the president's speech. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button on Right Side Broadcasting. We do this to every single at every single Trump event, rally, whatever, full coverage like no one else in the media. So make sure you subscribe and donate to us to help us to get to these events. rsbnetwork.com/donate, rsbnetwork.com/donate. I am going to end the streams on Facebook and Periscope temporarily. We'll be back live on Facebook and Periscope once we are live from inside. If you want to join us, come on over to our YouTube channel. See you soon.
lot of negativity and threats facing Donald Trump as soon as he was elected to presidency. I remember, for me, the first time I heard about them, it was, I think, during the inauguration. There were a lot of threats, really just threats, all different types. And they said, well, you know what? If y'all are going to keep protesting, doing that, we're just going to drive on up our motorcycles from across the country and protect the president ourselves if no one else is willing to do it. Would you say that still stands, or what are y'all doing now?
That definitely still stands. If people are going to threaten the President of the United States, they're threatening every patriot in this country, not just Bikers for Trump. Every single veteran, law enforcement, every patriot. Sorry about that.
One moment, we do have some announcements, some security protocols, so we are going to move back per law enforcement.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I believe this group is getting bigger than what anyone anticipated, so we're stepping back, so we're farther away from the main road right now that is right outside the venue that President Trump will be speaking in today. So President Trump's event is private today. Do you have any plans on getting in, or are you just excited to be standing out here in close proximity to the venue?
I am excited to be out with the people. I would love to be inside. The problem with being inside is the capacity with our Governor Wolf, who put it down to 250 people allowed in the building, which isn't right as far as I'm concerned. I was able to get to the airport. I have a pass to be to the airport to meet the President of the United States, but the problem is all my men are here. All the patriots are here. All the Bikers for Trump are here. I can't leave my men behind. There is no way I'm leaving all these bikers behind so I can go up and see the president land. I would love to do it. I have the opportunity, but as you can see, there's thousands of people here, and I can't leave.
There's Bikers for Trump, at least some form of them, almost everywhere I go when I'm covering President Trump's events. So what is it about President Trump that encourages you all to get out, to be, no pun intended, so driven and so passionate about POTUS?
He's basically one of us. He may not be a biker, but he's from blue-collar working. He believes in the blue-collar man, construction, getting our country running. He believes in our military, and he believes in our law enforcement. He's the man that we need behind us. He is the man who will back us.
And what do you think of the current DNC? This will be the third night, I believe, of the 100% virtual Democratic National Convention that's going on. Of course, Biden will be receiving his official nomination tonight. He'll be giving his speech. Do you think that's been successful so far?
I've watched some of it. It's more of like a telethon than it is a convention. It's more a lot of crying, a lot of whining, a lot of, well, for one, I'm just going to pull it out. Michelle Obama spoke from her $12 million mansion and said she's depressed at what's going on in Pennsylvania, that she is so depressed at these poor people in the country. For her to sit in that multi-million-dollar home with a $60 million book deal and a $120,000 Netflix deal, $120 million Netflix deal, I'm sorry, she feels sorry for us? If that's not privilege, what is? This is a privileged woman who's thinking that she's going to get on stage on TV and cry that, oh, I feel you, I know your pain. No, she doesn't.
No, I agree. I was watching former President Barack Obama's speech last night. He was trying to discredit the upper class and saying that we live a luxurious lifestyle and trying to appeal to the lower class. He has a house in Martha's Vineyard, so you can't take that really seriously.
Right, he's just a $12 million home. I support any president of the United States when they're the president of the United States, but my most respect so far, this is really the first presidency that I became really political with. This is the first man who because I followed him as a child.
Me too.
I love Donald Trump. I think he's a great man. What he's done to New York City was fantastic. What he owns around the world is unbelievable. He's a good man. He has a good heart. People complain about his bankruptcies, but people don't understand. With New Jersey, for one, Atlantic City went bankrupt. In order to save his employees and their health insurance, he had to file for bankruptcy. He used the laws to his advantage to help people. He will help. He stopped on the side of the road, helped somebody change their tire. If you remember that story, he's a good man. He's got good values and the same values as I have.
So, do you think Pennsylvania's going to go red in 2020? What do you think? Not just what you hope.
I think it's better than last time. Pennsylvania put him over the top last time. I believe we do it again. He is not going to win Luzerne County or Lackawanna County. As far as Pennsylvania goes, I'm sorry. We are here to back President, and from what I've seen from traveling with Bikers for Trump, there are more supporters out there than we know of. You get out riding on these bikes and these big rallies, it's support. You could see Trump signs on people's houses all over the place. You may find one Biden sign. Okay? Where I live, it's all Trump. I had signs delivered to my house, yard signs. It took one day to get rid of 450 of them. I put one message up on Facebook. I have yard signs, 450. In 6 hours, we're gone.
No, it's a really good point, especially being 10 miles from Biden's hometown. We saw one house with Biden signs this morning on our way here today.
The thing is with Biden saying he's from Scranton, Pennsylvania, I just read an article in a local newspaper that he lived here for 4 years. Two gentlemen he grew up with, they were friends, which, hey, we're all kids. I understand that. He left here at the age of 10. He lived here for 4. His family was from Delaware. They moved back to Delaware to get a job, which, hey, if you have to move, you have to move. But please, stop. Joe, stop telling us you're from Scranton, Pennsylvania. You're from Delaware.
You don't want to claim him.
I do not want to claim the man, no. Listen, 47 years in politics, has done nothing for anybody. 8 years as a vice president, presidency under Barack Obama, couldn't fix anything. If he knew what to do for the United States then, why didn't he tell Barack what to do? Apparently they don't know what to do. And Trump does have that magic wand to make our economy come back.
Puppet's a little bit of a puppet of a politician is what I like to think. Kind of just a shell for the Democratic Party.
He's definitely a shell. I believe that the man is on the onset of dementia. He can't think straight. He can't complete a straight sentence. He can't think on his feet. I can't wait for the first debate.
Oh, me either.
Okay,
final question. I keep thinking that I'm going to finish and let you go, but I like talking to you. Final question. Do you think they're actually going to debate?
I hope they do. I really think Joe Biden's going to back out of this. The Democrats do not want him to debate Donald Trump.
Well, thank you so much, Dwayne. I'm going to let you get back to all your bikers for Trump. I'm going to hand the microphone back over to my coworker, Alex, who's going to continue interviewing some people. Alex, what do you think so far?
I am not very astonished by all of the support here because Trump has quite a base who likes to follow him. A lot of these people might not even get in, yet they still came here to support the president. You're not going to see this crowd on CNN, MSNBC, ABC. You're not going to see any of this. We are one of the only networks who actually show you the crowds before. The media likes to tell you that President Trump is down 10 points in the polls. President Trump doesn't have a chance. Where have we heard this before? If I think back 4 years ago, I seem to recall them making that same argument in 2016. Hillary Clinton was going to beat Donald Trump no matter what. The New York Times, I believe, had her winning 98% chance of winning. 538 with Nate Silver had her winning about 75% chance of winning. But yet, Donald Trump seemed to win. And we have a very similar political climate these days. We have hundreds of people that I can see. We might have even more down there of people supporting President Trump. So do you think the polls are accurate? That's the big question. And judging by the crowd size, I don't seem to think that they are. Like Liz was saying, when we were driving here, we saw maybe one house, maybe two houses with Biden signs. And this is Joe Biden's hometown. And we've seen maybe one or two houses with Biden signs. We have seen Trump signs from sea to shining sea in this area, just full of American flags, Trump flags, people wearing Trump attire, businesses even with Trump flags and Trump signs. So it's obvious where the support lies, and it's obvious where the base is in terms of who has the most support. In fact, CNN actually released a poll a few days ago saying that President Trump has less enthusiasm than Joe Biden. Yet, if you went to Joe Biden's rally pre-coronavirus, we had maybe 10, 11 people. And if you went to Donald Trump's rally, you had maybe 5,000, 6,000 people, maybe more, who were outside of the venue because they couldn't get into it because it was already overcrowded with the 20,000 people who had already gotten in. So I think we might be getting another interview. I see Liz over here talking to two Americans over here.
All right. He's nervous, so be gentle, okay?
Oh, that's all right.
He can give a quick shout out.
It's okay. Would you like to give a quick shout out?
It's just so awesome to see all these people here, especially the group of bikers with Trump. They come out here to support the president because, well, Trump's winning right now.
Oh, yes, he is. What's your name?
Anonymous.
That's all right. That's a smart kid. Well, and a lot of people have expressed their support for him publicly, and a lot of them have been fired from their job. They've lost friends. Their houses have been vandalized.
I think that's kind of stupid for them people, again, losing their jobs over just liking Trump. You know, it's a personal opinion.
Well, we have freedom of speech in this country, but it only seems to ever apply to one side. So could you tell us, how old are you?
13.
You're 13 years old. That's amazing. How did you end up getting involved in politics? What attracts you to President Trump at such a young age?
My grandfather always said that Trump was the best because anyone he goes up against wants to make Biden. He says Biden is going to make this country a socialist, communist party, and we don't want that. I like to be my free country.
Exactly. And you know what? It's Americans like you, young Americans like you, that are the future of our country and the hope behind making a country great again. So I thank you so much. Do you plan to ever get involved in politics?
I would like to keep supporting my presidents. I don't think I'll ever be a politic, but I'll get into the military.
That's fantastic. If President Trump was here with you right now, what would you say to him?
Keep going. It's an amazing thing he's doing, and I'm glad he's coming to small towns because it makes the people from the small towns show their support instead of just going to big towns having riots and stuff. Of people who don't like him, coming to small towns that support him is much better than going to big towns that have riots against him. You know, everything that's going on against him, coming to small towns is really good for him.
You're absolutely correct on that. You know, you are a very well-spoken individual, and you don't seem nervous whatsoever. I'd say that this is a very good first interview for you. This is your first interview, correct?
Yeah, I've been in the newspaper a few times.
So you're experienced, I see. Well, you have a very good way with the words. You're very articulate, and I really appreciate having the time to talk to you today. And if you ever get the chance to interview again, have some confidence because you're a very good speaker, and I think you'll do a very good job. And I wish you all the luck in the world in joining the military. So thank you so much for talking, and enjoy the day. You're going to do a musical number for us.
We're going to do.
All right, sounds good.
A song we all should know. And I have to take my hat off for this song because this isn't about me or you. It's about country. United States of America. I'm going to play this on my harmonica. As soon as I turn the harp around. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Thank you, America. Thank you.
That was very impressive. Thank you very much.
For a good life, America.
What's your name?
Eddie.
Eddie. Nice to meet you, Eddie. When do you plan on releasing your album?
Next year about this time.
Next year about this time when President Trump is back in office?
That's right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Well, you caught me by surprise. Like, okay, now I have to calm down. All right. Yeah, when Donald Trump is back, and President Donald Trump is back in office again. Yeah. And like I said, it's about America. It's not about about me or a harmonica playing. It's about my nieces, my nephews, and all the young kids, all the young citizens of New York, of America, and that they have the same freedoms that we've enjoyed, and that's right from here. I mean, yeah.
Well, thank you very much. That was beautiful, and I really appreciate taking the hat off and everything. That's true patriotism. We don't have enough people who do that nowadays, and a lot of people even think it's a good idea to kneel when people play the national anthem. So I appreciate we only kneel for God, and I appreciate everyone around me who stood up, who took their hats off, and who listened to this gentleman play. It was very good, and I thank you again for coming on.
All right, thank you, Alex. Great job. We're actually going to migrate over a little bit. We have a group of people. It's actually a mother and a father, Marissa and Jose. They have their 5 children here today with signs Latinos for Trump. So they are going to speak to us, and we'll see a little bit about what brought them out here today to show support for President Trump. Follow me. Okay, hello, we're back. Again, I'm Liz Willis with Right Side Broadcasting Network. I was hoping just to ask your beautiful family some questions, see what inspired y'all to get out here today and show your support for President Trump. Could you begin just by your name and where you're from?
Sure, I'm Melissa from Jessup, Pennsylvania.
And how far away is Jessup from here?
It's about a 20-minute drive.
Okay, that's really pretty close. Were you surprised when President Trump chose to come to Old Forge, Pennsylvania, or were you expecting a stop here on his campaign route?
Not very surprised. He has come to Northeast PA before, so yeah, we're not too surprised. Yep.
Your family can be seen?
Yep.
If that's okay, I don't know.
No problem. Yeah.
And you brought your children here today. How many of them are there?
I have 5 children and my husband, Jose, and we're all here supporting the president and hoping that he would take a look into reforming immigration, something that Congress hasn't been able to get a hold on for over decades. And it's time that, we get a hold on it and families can be put together and be reunited and perhaps build a wall to strengthen border security to prevent other families going through what we had to go through. It's been a long time and many years, and many families are waiting for Congress to make moves, and they're just not doing that. And we have faith that our president can maybe make some moves for immigration, hopefully, and for the families here that are trying to do it the right way.
Is there a personal connection between your family and immigration laws that make you passionate about this for a reason?
Their father, and then my husband here, he's still awaiting an interview, and Congress has just put everything on hold right now, and we're just trying to live the American dream and do it the right way, and so are many other immigrant families that have come here, and they're just being blocked. So we hope our president can maybe reform immigration or do amnesty one more time, kind of like Reagan did, except this time follow up with a wall.
Is your family, the signs all say Latinos for Trump, would you say they're very supportive of President Trump and the immigration policies they do stand behind? Because a lot of people think just the opposite, that if you're a Latino or a person of color or a minority that you can't support President Trump for some reason. So what would you say to them?
Well, that's false. And again, if you look at the immigration policies, we've been going through this for decades and decades. And President Trump hopefully can get a hold on it and maybe give amnesty one more time for families and everything, and then lock up the border and moving forward, get a hold on immigration, something we haven't been able to do in this country for a very long time. And there's been a lot of immigrants that have came through the Obama administration, the Bush administration. Most of them were deported. They were never given a chance in court. They're shut down. And, there are families here. There are people that are paying their taxes here. And, we're left in the shadows and stuff. And, we really need to get a hold on immigration, get the people that have been here for a very long time. Their stories need to be heard. Their families need to be reunited. And they're very, a lot of Latinos, I can't speak for a lot of them, but they're God-fearing, Americans. And, they want the right thing for this country, too. We appreciate the police. We appreciate, maybe making the wall, to prevent any further illegal immigration, which in turn does hurt families. So it does.
Very well said and well educated. We can tell this means a lot to you and your family. We see different signs, so I'm going to ask you each about your sign that you're carrying and why you chose to do that one. Would that be okay?
Yeah, the black set, I can tell her that one is from Candace Owens, and it's Latinos and the black community is actually leaving, they call it the Democratic Party here, and just realizing Trump is for everybody. It doesn't have to, it's not about being a color. It's about being American and being proud who you are, being a patriot, and just loving this country. I'm tired of it always being separated by color and by race. It's too much now. We're Americans. We should be proud. Yep.
And you have a beautiful family, very beautiful American family. I think that one's my favorite sign, though. Babies for Trump.
That's right. That has more than one meaning, because we're a pro-life family here, and he supports the president. This is our country, and we just want what's right for the immigrants here that are fighting the right way. For the president to notice that we do back him up.
Great, thank you, and I'm sure the president loves to see it. Thank you for being out here today, supporting the president of the United States. Stay cool. Oh, hi, of course. What's up?
I want everybody to be happy in this country, and I want the president to help my dad with immigration.
I'm going to cry. Well, I hope the president does get to help your dad with immigration, and I hope you know that you are so welcome here. We love you guys, and your family's beautiful.
Thank you.
God bless America. Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to need a minute. Where's Alex? All right, and Alex, back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Liz. And as you can see, we still have many people of every background, of every color here supporting President Trump. And this gentleman over here was just telling me that it goes down for maybe 3 blocks down there of people supporting him. So we've got quite a lot of support here. And especially since it is a really hot day out here today, it's probably about 80 degrees. You have many people here wearing a lot of, I'm wearing a suit. You have other people wearing long sleeves. But nothing can deter anybody from coming out here. The weather, none of that. Liz and our cameraman Gage were actually just in Arizona 2 days ago, and it was 114 degrees there, and yet people still came to the rally. So that just goes to show you that nothing can deter anybody. Hot weather, protesters, nothing. So, Liz, how about another interview? Do you think we should go search for some more people?
Did you get them?
Well, hi, would you like to participate in an interview?
Yes, please.
All right, can you tell everybody your name, please?
MD Luther Rahman.
All right, and so what brought you to today's rally?
I love President Trump.
You do? What do you feel President Trump how do you feel President Trump has done so far in delivering on his promises?
Yeah, he has done excellent. He has done more than he was promised.
Now, you are somebody with dark skin. Have you faced backlash for supporting the president due to that? Because many believe that you should fall in line and you should vote Democratic based on your skin color. Have you faced any backlash because of that?
No. We are going to vote for all our country people. They are going to vote for President Trump this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you feel nervous at all that people are going to have backlash against you and maybe try to harm or threaten you guys because of your support?
Yes, I am scared, and I feel shame because why can't I wear the President Trump shirt and walk on the street? Why I have to scare? That was the question for all American. I have a question for all Americans because I wasn't born here. I live in here almost 8 years. So I'm an immigrant American. So I scared too. I can put my sign. I live in Delaware County. So I cannot put my sign, Trump sign, on my yard because I scared.
Right. Now, President Trump has done a lot with immigration, and he has been trying to create more opportunities for immigrants to come in legally. Do you feel that it's fair for people to come into this country illegally and get benefits when you obviously came in here legally?
Yeah, I definitely come illegally, and I strongly agree with our president because we don't need illegal people here, and we don't need drug dealers. We don't need the people who are committed crime in this country. So I'm completely agree with our President Trump.
And do you think he's been delivering on a lot of his promises in regards to immigration, building the wall, creating opportunities for immigrants?
Yes, he does. He does create a lot of opportunity for us.
And do you feel like America has been a welcoming place for you? Do you feel like a lot of Trump supporters have been welcoming of you? Because there's a narrative in the media that says Trump supporters are racist, and they don't. That says Trump supporters are racist, and they don't support minorities.
Not at all. They are racist. The media is fake. I'm sorry to say. Excuse my language. Because I can do. They have been supporting us. President Trump has done. The Republican has done more than any other political party for the immigrant.
I agree with you there. And do you think that Joe Biden, with his record on civil rights and Kamala Harris's record on civil rights, do you feel like they've earned the vote of immigrants or minorities in this country?
No, not at all. Especially from my country, Bangladesh, for Trump. No, we are going to 85% people will vote for President Trump this year.
Well, thank you very much for coming on and interviewing with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Take care so much. Thank you.
Thanks again, Alex. I'm going to step to the side for just a moment to go over a little bit more about RSBN and to thank the viewers for tuning in. It's getting a little bit more crowded here today, but for those who are new or just now turning in, again, my name is Phyllis Willis. We are live here today with Right Side Broadcasting Network in Old Forge, Pennsylvania, where President Trump is scheduled to give remarks on Joe Biden's failures in politics at 3 p.m. Eastern time here today. So we are, despite the large crowds, we still have about 2 hours before President Trump is scheduled to take the stage. Keep in mind, Right Side Broadcast Network is almost entirely viewer funded, meaning we rely on your donations to cover the cost of travel and transportation, just everything from rally to rally. We get our message out and our streams out to millions of people and help spread. Actually, that's way cooler than me. Some little ponies. Okay, we're not going to show that. I sound insane. Some officers just came by on horseback and I got distracted. Okay, I love animals. Time out. I wish this was not live so we could re-edit that. Anyways, so there's a number of ways you can donate to Right Side Broadcasting Network. The first way is by clicking that $sign in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube Super Chat. A second way is by going to our website. That's www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. A third way is a non-electronic way, so you can actually send a check to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. Those are three of the main ways to donate to us financially.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
We
are now inside of the Trump event here in Old Forge, Pennsylvania, just a few miles outside of Scranton, the hometown of Joe Biden, who is running against President Trump this November. President Trump is supposed to speak in about an hour or so, but in the meantime, I'm just here to talk to you about some of the things that President Trump and Joe Biden have to offer. So, a lot of people don't like to talk about Joe Biden's policies, and a lot of people in the media don't bother to talk about what his policies actually are. It's because, in fact, a lot of his policies are actually very unpopular. So let's just go over a few of the things that Joe Biden actually believes in. So, for instance, on the Second Amendment, Joe Biden has supported a gun buyback for weapons he deems assault weapons. He supports a $200 tax on every assault weapon or semi-automatic weapon that you own, plus another $200 tax on every magazine that holds 10 or more rounds. You're already not allowed to have police, as they are pushing for defunding the police, which also means less police, less quality police, and less quality police resources. So next time somebody breaks into your house and you call for help and nobody's able to come, you don't even have a weapon to defend yourself anymore in Joe Biden's America. And taxes. Joe Biden has claimed that he wants to raise your taxes by $4 trillion within the next 10 years. So it's bad enough that right now, during an unprecedented time, maybe you're working really hard and you're making less money at this time because your company doesn't provide as much money. Maybe you've been furloughed and you're living paycheck to paycheck if you even have a job. Maybe you're trying to make ends meet and you just don't have that extra. So on top of that, you're paying $4 trillion more in taxes in Joe Biden's America. On immigration, Joe Biden has specifically said he is for open borders. He is for giving health care and rights to illegal aliens who enter this country illegally. Joe Biden is pro-choice. Joe Biden has no problem with abortion, including late-term abortion and jobs. He embraces Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal. And do you have any idea what that would do to manufacturing jobs or to energy jobs in this country? I'm standing in the middle of a manufacturing facility right now. All of these jobs most likely to be shipped over China in Joe Biden's America. Energy jobs shipped to China or just flat out gone. A lot of them would be put out of business, the workers, because Joe Biden doesn't believe in fossil fuels. So this winter, when you need heat, or you want to cook something on your gas stove, or light your gas fireplace, or use a gas dryer, all of that gone as you're spending thousands of dollars to replace these items when you already don't have the money to spend after Joe Biden's $4 trillion tax increase. Luckily, President Trump is likely going to be reelected this November, and President Trump is promising to protect your Second Amendment and protect your police officers. President Trump gave us the largest tax cut in American history, giving Americans more money to spend on programs that they want, to spend money on college. He also supports protecting the unborn. Unlike Joe Biden, President Trump has said that he is going to support the not having abortion in this country because it kills millions of babies every year. And President Trump has specifically said he does not want that to happen. He has made the United States energy independent. We have not had to go to needless wars like we had to under President Obama and President Bush, where we were constantly in the Middle East trying to fight over oil. Under President Trump, that has not been the reality. He has also ended the Obama coalition on coal, the Obama war on coal. Under President Obama, he told everybody that a lot of these jobs just aren't coming back to America. But under President Trump, they have been. But elect Joe Biden, he told miners they can just learn to code. But millions of jobs have been created under President Trump. And with this unprecedented time, a lot of them have gone down because a lot of companies have been forced to close due to the coronavirus. President Trump has once made America great, and he is definitely going to do it again come this November. But nobody could have seen the horrors of coronavirus. If Trump, everybody likes to blame President Trump for what happens. But in fact, a lot of them have, such as Joe Biden, have even praised President Trump for his actions, even though he doesn't know that he praised President Trump for a lot of those actions. President Trump shut down the border back in February from China. He didn't allow people from China to enter the country because that's where a lot of the coronavirus was coming from. And Joe Biden, if you can remember, called Trump racist. He called him xenophobic. And then they asked Joe Biden, well, what would you do? And Joe Biden said, well, I would have shut down the border with China. So basically what President Trump did. Also, Joe Biden has had a lot of questions on whether his mental health is even fit to run the country. Biden has had a lot of gaffes lately, saying that, if you ain't black if you don't vote for Joe Biden. He accidentally called his wife his husband the other day. He's confused his wife and his sister on many occasions. It's obvious that the man has a lot of problems with words. Joe Biden, to many Americans, doesn't seem to be able to run the country because he just doesn't have the mental ability to run the country. Also in the media, a lot of the media are saying that President Trump is very much down in the polls. In the state of Pennsylvania, another poll came out by Emerson saying that President Trump is down to Joe Biden by 9 points. A lot of the polls have had Trump down by 10 digits or more. But if you looked outside during many of our interviews today, you saw hundreds of supporters for President Trump. A lot of them wearing Trump attire, not afraid to express their support. On the way here, as we were driving, we saw maybe 1 or 2 Biden signs, and we saw Trump signs as far as the eye could see. I come from Pittsburgh, and I drove here from Pittsburgh. It was a 5-hour drive. Do you know how many Biden signs I saw on the way here? 2. I saw 2 Biden signs. Do you know how many Trump signs I saw? Probably several hundred, if I'm being honest with you guys. So it's obvious where the support lies, and it's not with Joe Biden, who is running against Trump this November. If many of you had watched the Democratic National Convention as well, Joe Biden had many people out there speaking for him, including President Obama. President Obama went out there and he bashed Trump, saying that Trump isn't presidential, that Trump doesn't have what it takes to run the country, and that he's appalled by all of this that is going on. But what has President Trump done that's so presidential, you might be wondering? Trump just signed a peace deal between Israel and the United Arab Emirates, one that is unprecedented, that should win him the Nobel Peace Prize, that should win, it really should. What did President Obama do? When he was at war with Iran and they were building nuclear weapons, he gave them $150 billion, and he said, quit building nuclear weapons. And Iran said, okay, we'll take your money. And then, guess what? They used that $150 billion to build nuclear weapons. And the media likes to tout that deal as a success, but was it really a success? Does Iran look less safe today or more safe today? Well, under President Trump has gone after a lot of these regimes. President Trump has gone after ISIS. If you can remember, under President Obama, not too long ago, how many attacks did we have from ISIS? If we remember Brussels, Paris, Nice, San Bernardino, Orlando, London, the list goes on. How many have you seen under President Trump? Almost none. President Trump has cut the head off of ISIS, and he has continued to go after the leaders of ISIS. He went after Soleimani, and Soleimani died. Many on the left claim that that was the wrong decision to make. And Joe Biden said that he wouldn't have gone after Soleimani. But in fairness, Joe Biden also said that he wouldn't have gone after Osama bin Laden, the man who plotted the terror attacks of 9/11, killing almost 3,000 people. Joe Biden would have just let him go. This is the thing that we can expect in Joe Biden's America. We can expect more crime. We can expect higher taxes. We can expect an attack on our Second Amendment. We can expect our police to be defunded, and we can expect our foreign affairs to be completely messed up in the worst ways possible, with terror running rampant in other countries. That's why President Trump is running again, and it's to keep all of this from happening. Now, behind me, you can see we have a lot of people coming in already to see President Trump, who is expected to be here in about a little less than an hour from now. But it is the Mariotti Building Products factory here in Scranton, Pennsylvania, which is just outside of Joe Biden's hometown of Scranton, PA. And like I said, not a whole lot of support for him right here. But as far as we can see, a lot of people here are here to support President Trump. It is a private event, and a lot of the people who we saw outside aren't getting in. But that hasn't stopped them from coming. A lot of them, despite what's been going on with COVID, what's been going on with limited capacity inside of buildings, a lot of them have just decided to come anyways, to show everybody that they have the support of President Trump, despite when the media tells you that he doesn't have the enthusiasm of the people and that his poll numbers are terrible. But what do you expect when you have the media going after individuals who believe President Trump's agenda and who support President Trump? People who shut down their social media accounts, networks shutting down other people's social media accounts simply because they don't agree with them. Twitter banning people. President Trump having his tweets taken down. Media companies going out of their way to destroy the lives of people. If we look at what happened with Nick Sandmann, they went out of their way to tarnish his reputation. Now, a lot of these people have been beginning to fight back. Nick Sandmann recently won his case when he got a pretty hefty lawsuit from the media company, who shall remain nameless, who went after this individual. But a lot of American people, I believe, are starting to wake up and are starting to realize what President Trump is doing for the country, despite whether or not the media actually tells you. Now, I'm going to hand the microphone off to Liz over here. Liz?
Great job, Alex. Thank you. Go ahead, get some water. It is direct sunlight here. Some viewers were worried that you might be getting sunburnt, but we're glad to be here, like he said. Thank you for all the great facts and insights. Again, that was Alex Caldwell. He's new to RSBN. This is his second trip with us, his first time at a rally, because the one in New Hampshire actually got canceled. So we're really excited for him to finally see what this is all about. I think he's having fun so far. We'll see at the end of today's broadcast how it went for him. But again, like I said, I'm Liz Willis. I'm a veteran correspondent for Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I'm honored to be here. Just to get started, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what you can expect from our stream today, what we're doing here when President Trump is scheduled to speak. So without further ado, it is 2:17 p.m. President Trump is scheduled to take the podium at 3 p.m. today. He is supposed to give remarks on Joe Biden's failures in his 47 years in politics. So it's mostly going to be some jabs at Joe Biden, which is rightfully so. It has been a long week. This is going to be the third night for the 100% virtual Democratic National Convention. We had a long day of traveling yesterday, getting here to Pennsylvania from Yuma, Arizona. So we got in late. I was able to catch some of the speeches last night, and I'd say they were pretty underwhelming. And I think the rest of the country agrees with me, because after the second night of the virtual DNC, President Trump's approval ratings are currently at 51%. So it's looking pretty good right now. Again, President Trump will be here in about 45 minutes taking the stage. In the meantime, we just wanted to talk to you guys and answer any questions you might have. It is toasty, however, it's nothing like Yuma, Arizona. Yuma was absolutely miserable, really hot. It was like stepping in a microwave on full blast. It was miserable. There's a slight breeze here. It's just direct sunlight, but overall it's fine. Today is a private event, so you will not be seeing as large numbers as you did in Yuma. Yuma was more like a rally. It was open to the public on a first come first serve basis. However, this is going to be invite only, so a much smaller crowd. I believe the governor does have this capped at 250 people. They're encouraging social distancing, masks, and pretty much just the usual COVID requirements at this point. A lot of media is following those guidelines. Us not so well, but we'll see how it goes for us. I'm going to answer a few questions. So if you're on YouTube or Twitter, Instagram, you can message at RSBN Network. I've got all those accounts pulled up, or you can message me personally. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Liz Willis, LIZWILLIS. I do want to remind you guys that we are almost entirely viewer funded, meaning we rely on your donations to keep us in business and to keep us from going from rally to rally or campaign stop to campaign stop. So we don't take large investors. It's so we can really do whatever we want and show whatever we want on air. The campaign seems to enjoy it. The people of the United States seem to enjoy it, and the libs seem to hate it. So if you want to help us keep it going, you can donate a number of ways. The first way is by clicking that $ in the bottom right-hand corner of the YouTube Super Chat. It's a fun way to donate. I'll be reading those donations in just a minute, so I can give some shout-outs. So make sure you get your YouTube donation in right now. We'll be doing shout-outs from the YouTube in just a minute. The second way you can donate is by going to our website. This is www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. Regardless of donating or not, it's still a great website ran by our CEO, Joe Seals. So check it out for updates on the campaign, updates on RSBN, and if you have any questions, check that first. We are doing something really fun this week only. So it was for Yuma's event and this event. While supplies last, we are giving away RSBN gift boxes for every $100 donation or more done on the website. So if you go to our website, again, www.rsbnetwork.com/donate, and you donate $100 or more, and you would like to receive a RSBN gift box, which actually for right now, as of Wednesday, I believe, was the release of Diamond and Silk's new book, Uprising. Each box will come with one of Diamond and Silk's new book, Uprising. So go ahead, if you want to be one of the first people to get those books, send in that donation, and make sure if you want to be included for one of these prize packages, you absolutely have to include your address. We need somewhere to ship it to, otherwise you're not getting a box. So $100 or more on our website, you'll receive an RSBN box full of different gifts, and you'll also include one of Diamond and Silk's new books. This is while supplies last, again, on our website, and don't forget to leave your address. Another thing I would like to mention is to thank our great partners over at Disney Coins. Disney Coins has been incredible. For those of you who already have purchased their products, I think they speak for themselves. We get so many viewers who send us photos and messages how much they love their coins, and we absolutely love to see it. Disney Coins is a precious metals company specializing in copper and silver and historic coins. So if you want to help support President Trump and a conservative business, again, that's DISMEcoins.com. There are gorgeous designs really featuring and highlighting different moments from the Trump administration. So there's Conan the dog who helps take down Soleimani. There is Melania Trump coin. We have Trump at the southern border, Trump with Kim Jong-un. Lots of different moments that were really a part of history in these 4 years that seem to have flown by. We here at RSBN are collecting each and every design coin, so we hope you'll do the same. Make sure that you do tag us in any of the photos when yours arrive for a chance to be featured. You can also use code RSBN at checkout for a percentage off your order. That's not it. We're actually, in honor of the DNC and President Trump's approval ratings skyrocketing this week, Disney Coins has decided to do another massive giveaway. We'll be choosing 3 main winners. These winners will be announced today. This has been an all week long. They've had all week to get their entries in, so it's not too late, but it is going to end today. The winners will be announced immediately following President Trump's speech today. So you can go to disneycoins.com, click the giveaways tab on the left-hand side of the screen, click read more. Then you'll be prompted to enter the giveaway. Super easy, no catches. We just want to be able to get these products out to as many people as possible. Shipping is completely free. Whatever email address you enter the contest with is what we will use to contact you to ask for your address to ship it to. So there will be three main winners. Each winner will get to choose between one of three items, each valuing hundreds of dollars of products. So run, don't walk. I'm going to say this a few more times today, but I don't want to have to repeat myself too much. So you guys go and enter that giveaway. Right now there's only 600 people. Normally there's like 5,000 people entered for each of these giveaways. So your odds are in your favor. Not just that, if you just get your friends and family, get everyone you know to really go ahead and sign into this giveaway. Let's get the numbers up. We want to help other conservative businesses as much as we can. They've been trolled this week after we've given them a few shout outs. So let's prove that President Trump supporters and right side supporters have their back. We want to make sure they know that they are loved and supported. With all that being said, I am going to jump into the chat room in just a moment and start answering any questions you may have. So if you have questions about what the campaign has done this week, what the weather is like, what we can expect to hear from President Trump, or if you'd like a statement on the DNC last night, I believe the campaign did release one of those. So happy to read all of those here for you. We will start with the Trump campaign statement on the third night of the 100% virtual Democratic National Convention. Democrats are still hiding Joe Biden, but they can no longer hide their radical socialist agenda. Tonight, we finally got to hear from Biden's running mate, Kamala Harris, the most liberal member of the U.S. Senate, with a voting record even further to the left than Bernie Sanders. The radical leftists have taken over the Democrat Party, and now they want to take over this country, pledging to remake America in the image of socialism. This cannot happen. Their agenda includes raising taxes by $4 trillion, forcing a government takeover of your health care, cutting police funding, and granting amnesty to 11 million aliens, while also giving them taxpayer-funded health care and work permits so they can compete against Americans for jobs. The radical leftists have exposed their extreme agenda, but the American people will not buy what the Democrats are saying. This is from Hogan Gidley, Trump 2020 National Press Secretary. Again, that is the official Trump campaign statement on the third night of the Democratic National Convention. I'm going to hop on over. Hi to everyone that's on there. So if you see me looking at my phone, that is why. Liz Bastook, hello to you. If you have questions, please tag me. Again, my name's Liz Willis. Thank you, Gia Pasella. That is correct. It's Disney Coins. That's D-I-S-M-E Coins. Not Disney. Disney. Check them out. Let me know once you've... Oh, interesting. My twin brother just messaged my family. It's a private message, but it says... y'all will have to tell me if this is true. I haven't had time to look at it. It says, have you been watching the ads on YouTube? Trump's campaign bought the banner ads, so they're plastered at the top where everyone can see. I don't know how to check that. You guys tell me in the live chat if that seems to be true for you. I normally have my ads turned off anyways. Oh, thank you, Greta. And hello, Liz Bastook. Yeah, if y'all have questions, let me know. So I am waiting to see if that's true. I want up. Connor Small says true. Lauren Morris. Somebody DM me a screenshot if you don't mind. You can just send it to my Twitter or tweet it at me at LizWillis_. I want to see what he's talking about. I don't really have time when I'm okay, apparently. Top banner ads are all Trump ads. All right, when I get off air, y'all know exactly what I'm going to go looking for, but that's exciting. I'm on Twitter. I would love to see it. I don't have time to look up another stream right now other than ours, and I don't have ads on ours. So send that to me, please. Would love to see it. Again, we are 30 minutes shy of President Trump taking the stage. This is going to be President Trump's fourth official campaign stop. That does not include his visit to Iowa. I believe that was on Tuesday. So we started off Monday in Mankato, Minnesota. At 2 p.m., there was a 4:30 p.m. campaign stop as well in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Both of those remarks featured President Trump giving remarks on Joe Biden's failures on the economy and jobs. Tuesday, we were live from Yuma, Arizona. That's about 3 hours south of Phoenix. 3 hours straight. What'd you say? Yeah. Our cameraman is reading the comments. They're always funny. I try to stay out of them as much as I can, but my twin is a boy, for those who are asking. Sorry. Hate to break it to you. So the third stop was in Yuma, Arizona, and that was Tuesday night. So we ended up driving back to Phoenix, hopped on a plane all day yesterday, and we flew into Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Pennsylvania. So we are super close to the venue here today. It took us about 10 minutes to get over here. This is going to be President Trump's fourth campaign stop. Joe Biden can't seem to leave his basement, but President Trump is out here killing the campaign trail this week. It's absolutely phenomenal. He has traveled over 6,000 miles this week alone, not to mention the meetings he's had at the White House alone. Also, I mean, prayers up. It's been a really difficult week for him. He did release an official statement on the passing of his brother, Robert, who claimed was not only his brother, but also his best friend. I completely understand that. I'm obsessed with my family. So prayers for the Trump family this week, and I think it goes to show just how committed he is to this re-election campaign. Absolutely nothing is going to stop him from getting out and being amongst the American people face-to-face, talking to the American people to really figure out what their needs and wants are, what they need for a president. And basically, it's safe to say that socialism, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris are not the answer to America's problems right now. We need to get back out there, live our lives, open up our economy again, and just get back to living our daily lives. Looks like our cameraman needs to get out of the comments because he's still laughing at something. All right, I need to go read the comments. All right, I'm going to go see if you guys have any questions. 2:30, we have T-minus 30 minutes till POTUS takes the stage. What is a vocal fry? Liz Willis, lose the lazy vocal fry. All right, Starboard, you have to tell me what that is. If it's my voice, I swear there's nothing I can do about that. It's like literally my vocal cords. So I think we're stuck with that one. I'm going to hand the mic back over to my coworker, Alex Caldwell, for just about 10 minutes today. If you have any questions about him, he's new. Feel free to tag him in the YouTube Super Chat at Alex Caldwell. Otherwise, he'll just be going over some political stuff with you guys and anything else he wants to talk about. You ready, Alex?
I'm ready. Thank you very much, Liz. Oh, don't trip over the wire. All right. So like as Liz said, if you have any questions, please at me. I'll answer your questions for you. I'll talk politics with you, all of that stuff. So I'll just await for your questions. Do you guys feel safe? Would you guys be putting yourself in harm? No, I don't really think that we are. We're pretty careful. We're not wearing masks right now, but we're not really around anybody right now. Back in the crowd earlier, we weren't all too much up in their face. So we do a pretty decent job, I think, at keeping safe. So I'm not too worried about that. We do a lot of traveling, but we're pretty careful on airplanes. There's a lot of precautions that the flights take. We have to wear masks on airplanes. I drove here, they flew, but I've flown before, and I feel pretty safe on the airplanes, feel pretty safe in the hotels. They're pretty clean. Our hotel this time has been pretty clean for the most part. So no, I'm not too worried about that. Let's see. My YouTube is a little bit laggy. It is a very hot day out here today, but Liz and our cameraman Gage were out in Arizona, I believe, 2 days ago, and it was, I think, 114 degrees. And I think they were telling me there was a sandstorm while they were trying to get back to the airport, and I didn't know that those happened in Arizona. So we sometimes go through different patterns of weather for you guys. So, but nothing stops us. No sandstorm, rainstorm. Ginger alert. Yep, that's me. I'm a proud ginger. I have been my whole life. But yeah, it's a pretty nice day today, though. A lot of people here, manufacturing people, workers for manufacturing, which is we need this industry more than anything, and we can't afford to have a lot of that shipped overseas, especially energy jobs too. Actually, our state would lose 600,000 energy jobs if Biden got elected because of his promise to get rid of natural gas and oil. So that would just decimate the Pennsylvania economy. And I know a lot of people out here are already struggling enough as it is, and a lot of people have already been put out of work, and a lot of people are just getting back to work, and they can't afford to not have a job and just face having no money in their pocket. What I find funny, peculiar, is that Congress deliberately obstructed attempts to get unemployment back into people's pockets, to give people stimulus money. They refused to work with the president. They actually said that they put provisions into their bills that had nothing to do with COVID. For instance, one of them was making it so that we had to vote entirely by mail, which I don't think has very much to do with putting stimulus money into people's pockets. So it was just a laundry list of stuff that had nothing to do with COVID. So what President Trump did was he just put the money into people's pockets himself. He said, you know what, if you guys aren't going to work with me, I'm just going to have to do it myself. He doesn't have a whole lot of allies, so that's what he's been forced to do with a lot of things. The wall he couldn't get past, so he's had to do it himself. Healthcare, he's had to do a lot of that himself. And the stimulus package, he's had to do a lot of that himself. But he has done a lot of stuff himself, which it's very impressive because no president has done what he has done. No president has done as much as he has done. And I think that that's very impressive. And I hope that sets a precedent for people in the future to act rather than bicker and quarrel all of the time with fellow congressmen or senators, governors, all of them. I know we've had a lot of trouble here in Pennsylvania, where I'm from. Our governor has been very indecisive with all of his decisions. He wouldn't give us a clear answer on whether or not people were going back to school. Parents didn't know if they were going to have to choose between quitting their job to give their children an online education and to help homeschool them, or if they would have to go to work and leave their kids at home and not let them have an education. So people were left with having to figure that out for themselves. And the governor wasn't really any help with that. He couldn't give you an answer to save his life. He was very slow to reopen a lot of businesses, and a lot of businesses are going under. I know a lot of businesses that are going out of business. We just lost one of our big local movie theaters because they weren't able to open. A lot of theaters around the country are starting to open again, but they just were not allowed to open. A lot of restaurants I know are going under. I know a lot of people who own small businesses. One of the people we know had a business where they had 125 employees that they had to fire, and eventually they got them all back, but they didn't know when, and they weren't allowed to work. And it's like that for a lot of people in Pennsylvania, and that's the really unfortunate thing. And our governor really, I think, needs to step up and take care of a lot of these people, because he's refusing to do so. A lot of it, he's just made laws saying that you can't open things up. And that's the really disappointing thing about it. So hopefully, he's out in 2 years. Hopefully we get somebody who is a little bit better at making decisions. He had already gotten rid of college sports. That's one of the decisions that he has made. And high school sports, he's trying to get rid of those right now too. He's recommending that they don't do that. But a lot of them have said, we're just going to do it anyways. And we'll see what happens there. I'm going to try to answer some more questions from you guys. My YouTube on my phone is a little bit slow, so I'm trying to catch up a little bit. But thank you guys all for tuning in today. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate all of our supporters, because, a lot of media companies don't show the stuff that we show. We don't show the crowd before and after the rally outside. The people who didn't get in, the hundreds of thousands, sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands of people who don't get into these rallies that the media just pretends don't exist. We show the crowd size. When the president talks about crowd size, we pan the crowd. We always have, we always will. A lot of these companies just zoom in right on him, and they don't bother to show what kind of support he has. And that's kind of it's a very sad thing that our press has become so polarized and that they just can't be honest with us. So, one of the comments talking about Laura Loomer, for those of you who don't know, she is a conservative activist. She actually just won her congressional seat in Florida, which I don't think a lot of people saw coming, considering she's not allowed to, she was banned from all social media platforms, and she was able to win her seat. It's a blue seat, so we'll see what kind of support she has from that. But yeah, we're pretty excited for that. That'll be an interesting one. So we're going to take a 5-minute break right now, so please stay tuned. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Thank you very much. Well, I'm sorry?
You'll hear a few words from our CEO, Joe Seals, a great guy. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Here at the RSBN studio. Good afternoon. I'm Joe Seals, the CEO, back here looking live at our camera feed of the Trump campaign event in Old Forge, Pennsylvania, right outside of Scranton, Pennsylvania. You Office fans out there will appreciate the location today. I know I do. And I want to thank Alex Caldwell and Liz Willis, our two correspondents on the ground, for doing an exceptional job today. This is Alex's first, I want to call it a rally, Alex's first protest with us today. And he comes to us from Pittsburgh. I used to live there. It's a great city, a great city there in Western PA. I actually miss it sometimes, but he comes to us from Pittsburgh and is actually a friend of Libby Krieger, another one of our correspondents, who sent him our way. So we welcome his talents here to Right Side, and also appreciate Liz Willis. Again, she is a trooper, been with us for 4 years now, doing a great job. She is a veteran here at RSBN. And so we've been to every single one of these things. You know, we're going to continue to go to every single one of these things. There's nothing scheduled right now, but you can't help but just think that they're probably going to have more of these campaign events soon. They seem to be doing very well, especially the streaming numbers. If you look back at the last three of them that we did in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and then in Arizona on Tuesday, you'll compare those. If you compare those to the DNC streaming numbers, we handedly beat the DNC. They just couldn't get a lot of live stream viewers. It doesn't really fit the media narrative that there's a lot of enthusiasm behind Joe Biden. It picked up a little last night with Obama's speech, but I would really be interested to see what Trump's convention speech next week at the White House draws compared to Biden's speech. So it's, the enthusiasm appears to be all on President Trump's side, just as it was in 2016. And I personally think that we're going to win, and we really have to, and that is why we continue to do this. And if we do win, you're stuck with us for another 4 years. As you know, President Trump will not stop holding rallies. He'll continue to do it even after he wins, and we'll obviously have 2022 midterms, and I'm sure he'll campaign for the 2024 candidates. So we have to re-elect President Trump. It's crucial to our country right now, and that's why we continue to do what we do, because Fox News didn't even show the last campaign speech in Yuma, Arizona. They instead decided to go with their own programming and coverage of the DNC. We here at RSBN will always show you the entire event from start to finish, and we will not cut or clip anything up. That's why I started this company back in 2016, is because I believed that then candidate Donald Trump was not getting a fair shake. People were making him out to be a crazy racist, and I wanted to show his entire speech, the full context of what was being said. And I think we accomplished that with 350 million views on our videos, working directly with the Trump campaign. We made a huge impact, and we hope to be able to do the same this year. 2.5 months left. The China virus sort of stole our thunder over the last 3 or 4 months. We had hoped that we've been preparing for this moment for 3-4 years, have upgraded our equipment. As most of you can see, we have a beautiful picture here in the Scranton area. So we need for you to help us continue to make it to these events, support Trump, because we are all viewer supported. We are viewer supported here at Right Side Broadcasting. We don't take huge donations from investors. We don't take on investors here. We want to be able to control what we say on our own network. So that's why we ask for donations, is that you, the viewer, determine whether we go to the next event or not. And rsbnetwork.com/donate is the best way. Today only, not making a big deal out of it today because they went really quick on Tuesday. But if you donate at least $100 on rsbnetwork.com, and you must do it on rsbnetwork.com, we will send you a free copy of Diamond and Silk's new book, if you get it while supplies last. We have, I think, 8 left. If you donate at least $100 and then include your address, after your donation is complete, you'll see a text box come up. Put your address in, and we'll send you out the book plus an RSBN gift package. I've already got some going out today, so you don't want to miss out on this. We appreciate you and all your support. We'll send it back to Old Forge. Now, another thing you can do if you're watching us for the first time, or if you're not subscribed, hit the red subscribe button on YouTube. We'd really like to get to 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Hit the red subscribe button so you'll be notified every time we go live with President Trump events. We do press briefings, we do news conferences, we do everything. So hit the red subscribe button, subscribe to us, and also share this broadcast. If you tweet out this broadcast right now, 3-minute window. Anybody who tweets out the broadcast, tags us in it, and gives us and tweets out the link to this broadcast, we will give you a retweet. Okay, so we'll go back to Scranton in just a few moments to Alex and Liz. Until then, enjoy the sights on the ground. I would play the sounds, but we'd get a copyright claim.
right. All right. Wasn't sure if we were on yet. All right. So welcome back, everybody. We're here in Old Forge, Pennsylvania, right outside of Scranton, and I'm here with Liz Willis.
Yeah, great. It's been good so far. Hope you enjoyed that quick message from our CEO, Joe Seals. We had a nice break, kind of hiding out in the shade for a little bit. But for everyone asking, President Trump is scheduled to take the stage at 3 p.m. Eastern time, so we are about 10, technically 12, I'd say 10 minutes shy of President Trump taking the stage. We are getting very close. Alex, how close have you ever been to seeing President Trump speak?
Well,
I know you've been to some rallies.
I've been to a few rallies. My first rally, he was probably about 25 feet away from me. I got very close to the front. My family and I, we pushed our way up to the front. So, yeah, we were a little bit pushy there, but it was such an exciting opportunity. That's actually when I first met you guys. But it was such a great time, and getting to see him up close. It's so surreal. Like your heart's beating a mile a minute, seeing the President of the United States right there. There's not a feeling like it.
And it's such a more like a smaller crowd. We're used to like 10,000 or 20,000 people today. I believe they're capping this private event at 250. So it's a rally style speak, but with a much, much smaller crowd, which is cool. I just sit here and I try to make as much eye contact as I can. I'm like, look at me. Look at me. It doesn't work, but it's worth a try.
The enthusiasm's still here, though. A lot of people wearing his attire. We had people chanting outside. The enthusiasm's still here. So whether or not there's a capacity limit, he still has support regardless.
And outside, I mean, that crowd we were able to interview before we came in for media preset, it was really an awesome crowd. I know President Trump is going to be very excited when he drives past and sees all the bikers for Trump and the other groups, Latinos for Trump, that were out there for him.
Yeah, it was quite a sight to see how many supporters were actually out there despite them not being able to get in. And they just came anyways. The one guy we interviewed, he came from southern New Jersey. He can't get in, but it was 180 miles that he drove just to be here. And that.
Tell me, would you do that? Knowing you can't get in, it's a private event?
I'm not sure. I have to think about that. I don't know.
I would want at least like a 1% chance of being able to sneak in somehow. Flash a media credential or something. Sometimes it works.
Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully I wouldn't ever have to do that. Hopefully I'd always be allowed to get in. But
the point that I'm making is the extreme dedication, just to be able to wave, to spend that money on gas, to drive, just for maybe a split second of waving to him behind his bulletproof blacked out motorcade.
Yeah.
Some really intense supporters out here today.
Yeah. I'm just so excited to see everybody out here, though. Just all the enthusiasm that you don't really ever get with Joe Biden. You don't get that. Joe Biden, he's an interesting guy. You know, I actually saw an ad the other day. He's been playing ads in this state nonstop. I saw in his ad the other day, he said, "I'm going to treat every American like my own children." And I'm thinking, well, I would love to have a job working with Burisma, and a Ukrainian company, which I'm not qualified to work for. Sign me up, making millions of dollars. Yeah, hundreds of thousands. Yeah, I'd love. Oh, that'd be a great opportunity. So I'm really excited. If he wins, I'll move to Ukraine.
But would you put up with him like sniffing your hair and stuff
for
the job?
I don't know. If it gets me a raise, maybe. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at that.
Noted. Okay. Okay, moving on.
Moving on. Liz getting us off topic there.
I know. All right, so let's give a few shout outs for people who have donated today. Right now we have Twin One Janet. She's a new member in our chat room, so thanks for joining. Twin One Janet, are you actually a twin? Let me know. We don't have very many donations going on in the YouTube super chat, so you guys get those in. I want to read them. I have a broken nail, don't look at that one. I want to read them, so get those donations flying in. I'm going to move over to the website-based donations. I want to say Victoria Jenkins donated. We have Miriam Bertram who said thank you for the coverage. And if you guys are wondering what I'm reading, so if you donate, because we're almost entirely viewer funded, we rely on your donations. And if you donate on the website, we're able to read those as well. There's an opportunity for you to have a little type of message if you'd like to have it read out loud. So we are reading those right now. Same thing can happen in the YouTube super chat. So if you want that, go ahead and get your donations in now, because you see we have time to kill. We're reading names, so do it while we're paying attention to the donations so we can kill it. Joanna Bratton literally just donated, so she's definitely watching. Hi, Joanna. Peter Popescu said, keep fake news away in Trump 2020. We have Ryan Bishop. He said, I'm new to following y'all's broadcasting. You're amazing, Trump 2020. Georgina said, guys, you're doing a great job. Greetings from Spain. Hola. Make America great again. We have John Trapani. And another one, John said, hard to believe that you're the only ones who carry our president's rallies in peaceful protest. His words and thoughts are so important that everyone should be able to hear him. So thank God for you guys, and you've come a long way. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you so much for realizing that and acknowledging our hard work. And that is the conclusion of today's donation from our website. So you guys, you know what to do. Let's get them rolling in. I want them to be so many. Go to our website, www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. Get those in. I'm going to hop over to the YouTube, or you can read the YouTube.
All right, I'll get my...
I'll hold this microphone for you, as you did for me. While he's pulling that up, don't forget, guys, Disney Coins is an incredible partner. They specialize in copper and silver coins, 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 4 ounce silver bars, keychains, you name it. They're all designed representing a very specific point of history within the Trump administration. So there's absolutely beautiful designs. 2 new ones every single month. Check them out over at disneycoins.com, and you can use code RSBN for savings at checkout. Also, this week, in honor of President Trump working hard on this campaign, we are doing a massive giveaway. There will be 3 main winners announced immediately following President Trump's speech here this afternoon. So if you want to make sure that you are one of the 3 winners who are each going to claim hundreds of dollars worth of precious metal prizes, go to disneycoins.com, click the giveaways tab on the left-hand side of the screen. You'll click read more, and then you'll see where you're able to enter to win the giveaway. Super easy. Tell your friends. I send it to all my family every single rally. Just fingers crossed. Maybe I'll have better luck this time. I have yet to win. But again, the odds are good. Last I checked, there were only like 600 entries. So normally we have like 5,000 entries. So get your name in that hat. Do we have any donations via YouTube? Fingers crossed. How are we doing today? Let's get some donations. One
donation from Trackhawk, and he said, "Where's Hunter?" And that is a good question.
Russia, Ukraine,
maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
In the basement with his daddy.
I think so. Yeah, he and Joe just hanging out. I don't know. That guy. Interesting guy. Another question asks, what time is Trump going to be speaking? He'll be speaking at 3:00 today. And another question asking whether or not we know the schedule of whether or not he's going to have future rallies. We're not sure as of yet. Hopefully he announces some soon, but as soon as we find out, we will let you guys know. Right now, we're not sure. Everything is a little bit up in the air right now during these times. Hopefully we have a better answer for you soon, but we will keep you guys updated as soon as we find out when these rallies are. So I will go through some more questions from the live chat. All right.
Hey, buddy, we never got to interview you.
Liz has found a friend.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right, yes. Liz will be back in a little bit, but in the meantime, I'll just stay here. I'll read some of the live chat. Thank you to Allison Ship for her donation, and she said, why do you think so much of the news is polarized? And you know what? I think a lot of it is just run by people who don't like him, and I think that's one of the big reasons it's so polarized. They're told what to say, and a lot of the people in the media don't really have much of a choice, and they have to spit back a lot of the rhetoric that they're being told to say, no matter how fake it is. Actually, Project Veritas has interviewed a lot of people from those companies, and that is a lot of the reasons that people have said for why the news is so polarized. I think it's just a lot of who owns them, and it's a lot of people, activist people in the media who just hate Trump, and they just have to disagree with everything he says, no matter what. People were actually upset that he pardoned Susan B. Anthony. So if that doesn't tell you how polarized things are, then I don't know what to say to that. Read some more questions. A lot of questions about me needing sunscreen. You guys are so right. I'm gonna look like a strawberry tomorrow, and it's gonna really upset my mother. She's gonna say, I told you to wear sunscreen, and I didn't wear it, so that's not a good thing. Do I know the format of the RNC, live or virtual? I think it's probably going to be a little bit of both. I'm not entirely sure what he's going to do. I'm hoping that he has an event or two that is like this that we can actually go to. But we'll probably have to wait a few days before he announces what he's going to do. I imagine it'll be somewhat similar to Biden's, where he'll have a lot of people speak virtually, but President Trump does like to go out and hold things like these because I don't think he's very afraid. He's a very brave guy, so I think he'll probably go out and try to do two of these things. So I think it'll be a little bit of a mixture. Let's read something else. Thank you to Stephanie Belfi for her donation, and 777 for their other donation. And Liz is behind. Yep, there she is.
Biden-y.
Did you just say very Biden-y?
Yeah. I was saying hi. This kid was really sweet. He watches RSBN, so he wanted to say hello.
Oh, that's nice. We have a very good group of followers. I love them to death.
I know.
I
could have brought him up with me. He'd probably do a great job.
He'd kill it up here. I'm telling you. Carl Peterson asked, will Alex and Liz dance to the Pennsylvania polka?
No.
If I dance, we'll lose viewers. So that's a no. I don't think our CEO would be very happy with that. We'd probably lose a lot of viewers overnight with that.
That's a no for me, Dawn.
Yeah. Maybe if we get a $1 million donation, I'll do a dance.
What time does it start? Everyone, it starts in 1 minute, technically. So POTUS might be, it looks like Air Force One, they were taking the smaller jet today. However, takeoff was a little bit behind schedule per the pool, so we can expect him to be a few minutes late taking the stage. But at this point, it's absolutely any minute now. He is going to be taking the stage and giving remarks on Joe Biden's 47 years of failed politics.
Music is getting quiet. I imagine he'll be out here shortly.
How many of these were you able to catch up on? All of them?
A few of them. I haven't been able to go up too much. One of them asking how many people is here. I think about, 250 are inside?
They capped it at 250.
They capped it at 250, but there are a lot of people outside who didn't actually get into the event. We were doing interviews with a lot of them earlier, and there were hundreds of them out there earlier, and they weren't even able to get in. But it just hasn't stopped people from trying to come here. It is a shame that we have to cap off events like this, but it's nice to see that it hit capacity, so people are willing, despite what the media tells you, they're willing to come to these things.
We do have a shout out I want to ask a question about. So we had a donation from James Galbraith who said $1776. Shout out from r/thedonald at reddit.com. RSBN is our favorite broadcast link for all Trump rallies. Thank you so much. I love it. I did hear a few weeks ago that the Donald on Reddit was banned. So is that still the case? / whatever happened to that? I know I'm the journalist, but can you tell me? Excited. But we also have a $50 donation from Candy Smith, one of our regulars. She sent a message and said, Liz and Alex are doing a fantastic job today. Thank God for President Trump and RSBN for the pro-Trump outlet.
Thank you, Candy.
Very sweet. Sweet like candy. Barbie G also became a new member, so we want to welcome that. Jeffrey Cernsey said Trump 2020, Biden is still a dog-faced pony soldier.
A lying dog-faced pony soldier. He doesn't even
Robert
tell the
Black
truth.
UK donated 5 years. Said, are there any Democrats who hate the USA and want to swap citizenship with a black UK Trump supporter? I'll be glad to join the fight. I can name a few people that I wouldn't mind you switching with, mostly in Congress. Charles Myers donated $5. Said, love your station, and some other words. Vicky Otto Tucker said, the station rocks. Love the reporting. Trump Pence. 2020, I love them, and USA. So we are, in other news, we are officially wheels down in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, Air Force One that is. I also have some donations via the website. So we have one from Judy who said, I've been watching since the first broadcast. Thank you guys for all you do. Richard Sire donated and said, I've been watching since the first broadcast. Oh, that's the same one, sorry. They're starting to come in fast now, so I love it. Thank you guys. Of course, now that POTUS is minutes away, people are really starting to get excited. It always happens. I love the new broadcaster. Excellent addition. Red hair rocks. Get protection from the sun. Your mom is right.
Yes, well, don't tell her I said that. She's watching, so now she knows.
Okay, we have Kathleen Ray, who said, California's only hope is another 4 years of Trump. Keep up the good work, spreading Trump's message from state to state. James Stack also donated. We also have Kathleen Griffith, who said, keep up the great work. I know Trump is about to speak. Alex and Liz are making a great team, and much love, and God bless to you and the entire crew. Great work, Mr. Seals. Jeff and Carrie Lee Stone, Ryan Matsuo said, my wife and I really enjoy your President Trump broadcast, especially done by Liz and her crew, Trump 2020. Thank you. Love my crew. I don't know if they want to be referred to as my crew, but anyways, we have one from Michelle Crane, who said, I love Right Side Broadcasting Network, hashtag Trump 2020. Wendy Jarowski said, trust the Trumper. Tammy Spears, I am thrilled that I found you guys. You guys are rocking it. I'm sharing with all of our hashtag Trump 2020 MAGA supporters. So thank you so much. That's a great thing for me to remember to encourage. If donating financially is not an option for you guys right now, totally get that. Times are tough, but it's completely free to share the stream. So if you have a Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, just copy and paste the link. Make sure you help us not just get our message out, but President Trump's message. We want to make sure that the world is seeing this majority, this red wave that's happening. Media is not giving him fair credit. No. I mean, I don't even have to begin to open that can of worms, but that is what we're fighting against. That's what we're here doing. Every single one of you that's watching right now is helping us to break that barrier and to fight this uphill battle against mainstream media. So continue to do that for y'all as well. Share this stream, like it, comment, donate if you can, but we're all here fighting together the same battle, pretty much trying to save the future of this country come November. Back to you, Alex.
I'd like to apologize to Alan Ship for accidentally calling him Allison. There was a very bad glare on my phone, and I thought it said Allison.
At least you didn't mess up the last name.
Yes. You are right there. You gotta love Frank Sinatra, right? Just singing the song, My Way.
Yeah, but we can't have this. We just gotta keep talking. Alex is new here, so we can't even say stuff like that without YouTube hearing our algorithm and then taking us down for copyright claims. So we don't want y'all to even know that anything is playing in the background right now.
Forget what I said. I was fake news. There is a very bad glare on my phone. It is very hard to read what a lot of these are saying.
About Air Force One, wheels down.
So Air Force One has landed, so they'll be here fairly soon.
Okay. We do have an announcement from our CEO, Joseph Seals. We want everyone to know that if you actively right now copy our link and tweet our broadcast out in the next 3 minutes. So if you copy, if you go to YouTube or however you're watching, mostly YouTube, you click share link and then copy link. You tweet that out from your account saying something about go watch this. For the next 3 minutes, we will retweet from our account all of the tweets that y'all do with our link. So we have over 100,000 followers right now, so this will just help you guys as well. We want to make sure that all these conservative accounts and these patriots help get the word out and these accounts out. So next 3 minutes, everyone who shares our link on their Twitter will get a retweet and hopefully some followers. We want everyone to see who we're working with, what we are, and how many people are watching. So get out there and tweet. Share this stream, you guys. Make it happen. Let's help keep America great. Alex?
Yeah, I agree. We got to keep donating. We got to keep supporting us. It's really the only way that we can get stuff that's not filtered by anybody who's... we show you directly what he says. We don't twist what he says. We show you what he says. So if you want to keep seeing that, we really encourage you guys to donate so that we can keep going to these things and showing you what actually happens, showing you crowd sizes.
Are you in more direct side?
I probably am, but...
I'm going to help you out.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't know if I helped at all.
I don't know. You tan, I burn. So.
Yeah, I know. My mother texted me and said to switch sides with Alex because he's turning red.
Yeah.
You are on this side from the sun.
Oh, great. I'm gonna.
But I don't feel it. I don't feel it. Oh, no, you're fine. It'll go away. It's just hot out here. Mm-hmm. So it's 3:07. President Trump, for those who are wondering, is scheduled to speak at 3 p.m. here today in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. He's scheduled to give remarks on 47 years of Joe Biden's failures in politics. POTUS is currently speaking to supporters at the airport. This will be very brief, and then he will, I believe, motorcade over. So we are just... So we can expect him in about 10 to 15 minutes or so from taking the stage. Fashionably late, but he has had a busy morning so far. Air Force One did land at 2:49 p.m., so that is 19 minutes behind schedule. AF1 was scheduled to land originally at 2:30 p.m. here at the Wilkes-Barre Scranton International Airport. However, it was an uneventful flight and no visitors to the back of the cabin, so pretty easy flight. We do have some more donations I want to read out. It looks like we have one from Sherry Ferber Bradley. Woo, it's a long one. Let me get ready for this. RSBN and all patriots, I truly thank you for helping truth seekers see and hear Donald J. Trump, the national anthem, the crowds, interviewing people in line, huge. Seeing President Trump live and in full as well as being able to stream has meant the world to us. Diamond and Silk are my queens. Same girl. Trump OG, y'all are magnificent. Look up The Persistence, Scott Pressler. Travel the country and registering new Republican voters. Also find Trump Black's grandson. He too announces how many new voter registrations he has helped people complete. We must volunteer to help POTUS. We must focus all down ticket. Work, work, work. Take the lead from President Trump. Never quit. Very true. Scott Pressler and Trump's Black grandson. I see them on my Twitter pretty much every single day. They do great work at registering voters. You're absolutely right. We have Mary Miller who said, I love Liz and all of you at Right Side. So thankful for you. So thankful for you. Thank you. We have Joan Gentile who said, thank you for being there. God bless America. Marilyn Hochberger said, what venue are you broadcasting from? We're at the Mariotti. I will never get that right. Building Products venue. So it's a warehouse here, a lot of lumber. And that's pretty much it. This is where President Trump has decided to speak from.
Yeah.
More on that, Alex? You're more familiar with Pennsylvania.
Well, yeah, I'm from Pittsburgh, so I've lived in Pennsylvania all my life. It's a great place to live. We got a lot of good blue-collar people here. We've got a lot of good people here in general. It's a very industrial state. We've got a lot of businesses here. A lot of them have been put under or, in a lot of trouble during this time. So it's been really hard seeing a lot of the people I know having to go through all of this stuff. A lot of my friends' parents have lost jobs. I had friends who actually had lost their jobs from restaurants. They worked as servers, greeters, all of them. They all went under. A lot of restaurants have gone under. It's really a shame to see a place that was flourishing only in February be a completely different place in August, and it's really sad to see that happen to your town, your hometown, seeing the people you've known for years just been put under with work and everything. But hopefully we can bring that back, and it's been getting a lot better over these past couple of months, so I'm hopeful that President Trump will help us and continue to help us. He's done a tremendous amount so far, so I'm hoping that he'll be able to do that come after November when he's still in office. Let's see what else.
Someone wants to know if Alex has a Twitter account.
I do have a Twitter account, Real A Caldwell. That is my Twitter account. It hasn't been active for too long, so I've been trying to start to post a lot more on there. So you'll see me retweeting and posting a few more things on there. But Real A Caldwell, that is my Twitter handle if you would like to follow it.
Someone said Liz and Alex 2024.
Oh, I'd definitely be the president. You'd be the vice president.
Don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, but I'd be a better president. I'm a ginger, and
They said Liz and Alex, not Alex.
yeah,
Liz.
but they say ladies first because it's respectful.
No, I think they.
I won that argument.
It's Trump Pence.
Okay, well, in the comments, let everybody know Liz or Alex for president.
Y'all heard the sexism in that.
You're a liberal. Don't vote for Liz. Okay. Anyways.
Vote for Liz. Turn up. Swag 2020.
Okay, if your campaign slogan is swag, you don't deserve to be the leader of this country.
What is it? Hold on, I'm trying to get a quote here. You ain't ginger if you don't vote for me or something like that.
I'm just gonna let you guys decipher that. I don't even think that merits a comment.
If the president-elect, or if the nominee, Democratic nominee can say it, I can say it. That's how that works.
You're a list-faced pony soldier. The mudslinging is really heating up. It feels like a real campaign over here.
I feel like we're in the campaign, that movie. You haven't seen it.
I've seen it
Yeah, like,
with Zach Galifianakis.
Yes,
and
we were
Will
literally
Ferrell.
up on the,
yes.
up on the debate.
I didn't punch a baby.
All right, back to donations.
Back to donations. Yes.
Okay, so we have some. Beverly Barrett is a new member, so we want to say thank you to Beverly Barrett. We have Virginia Faye donated $20, another $20 from Virginia Faye again. Oh, people are tweeting Liz for president. Done. Done.
Well, that's fake polling. It was skewed. They asked more Liz supporters than Alex supporters.
They asked my mom.
They asked, yeah. It's, yeah.
Okay.
I don't trust the polling.
Oh, man. All right. All right, I guess. You guys don't forget that we are almost entirely viewer funded, so we do rely on your donations to keep us in business. If you enjoyed our commentary today and for some odd reason you'd like to see more of that, you can help keep us in business and going from rally to rally, covering President Trump's speeches and remarks, whatever you want to call it. This is not technically being billed as a rally. This is remarks on Joe Biden's 47 years of failed politics. So we're enjoying this here today. We know that we're going to see President Trump come today and speak really face to face, literally. This is a pretty small crowd. That is on purpose, just so the media doesn't quote me on that. This event is capped at 250, so it is going to be sitting room only, really. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I mean, there's a chair for every single person. And
Space 6 feet apart.
Yeah. Well,
For the most part.
ish. Not super close.
I didn't
This
measure.
is a smaller venue, but it is a cool venue, so it's really neat. You can see exactly what the inside of a lumberyard looks like once they've all gone through, what is it, polishing? I'm a pine tree farmer, but I never see them when they actually go through this part of the process. Mine are just the trees, and they cut them down, and then they leave, and I never see them again. But I guess the cameraman, have you been able to turn around and show them? So, like, mostly the pallets of wood. Oh, you can kind of see them, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I am curious where they source from, whether or not it's within the United States. I would hope so, based on, so these say Idaho Forest Group, some of them, because you can read quality lumber from Fontaine, LeMay. It's better not be any of that Canadian lumber.
Canadian doesn't get an A. Sorry, that was a really bad joke. I think I just lost the presidential race between you and I with that comment. Let's see.
Someone said she's hilarious when she's dehydrated. I am still dehydrated.
It's really hot. I think I've already had 2 bottles of water within about 10 minutes of each other. It's really hot out here today. But at least it's not Arizona. Hot like that.
Take it for 5. Kill it.
Okay. So I'll take it for 5 here, I suppose. President Trump is going to be speaking at, well, he was supposed to speak at 3, but he's on the ground. He was speaking to supporters at the airport, so it looks like he's going to be here any minute. We're here at the Mariotti Building Products Center in Scranton, Pennsylvania, or Old Forge, Pennsylvania. It's a little bit outside of Scranton. So it is Joe Biden's hometown. So like we've been saying earlier, there hasn't been a whole lot of support for Joe Biden here. Being that this is his hometown where he's lived for only a few years, we've only seen a few Biden signs, but it's been Trump country out here for the most part. So it's just been an interesting thing to see that you would expect the candidate's hometown to really go overwhelmingly for him, but it just doesn't seem to be that way. And we've talked to a lot of people who just, Joe Biden didn't do it for him. He had nothing to offer. A lot of the stuff that he says, the stuff that makes sense, it just doesn't appeal to any of these working class people. I mean, the manufacturing, for instance, a lot of them to be shipped overseas. Energy jobs, 600,000 of them gone if Joe Biden is elected. I mean, it would decimate our state. We can't afford to lose 600,000 jobs at a point in time where unemployment in our state is already as high as it is due to COVID. So we already know President Trump has been bringing a lot of them back. A lot of those jobs in the energy field, particularly, Obama said very famously, you can't bring those jobs back. Those jobs are gone. You'd need a magic wand to bring those back. And then, magically, they came back. So I guess Trump had that magic wand after all, because a lot of these people, how many coal jobs have been added? How many manufacturing jobs, energy jobs, the Keystone Pipeline being opened back up after all of these years of fighting back and forth between workers and President Obama. So it's been a really interesting thing to see. Another thing that just happened recently, we had the DNC, which was streamed over the past couple of nights with Joe Biden, and he had a bunch of guest speakers, and a lot of them, some of them had been celebrities, and a lot of celebrities have been endorsing Joe Biden and showing their support for Joe Biden, saying that, you know, they can relate to the average American, so vote for Joe Biden. I'm no expert, but I don't think that Cardi B or Billie Eilish particularly relates to the average everyday American who has to go to work every morning and they worry constantly about whether or not they'll be able to feed their families that day, whether or not they'll be able to pay their bills or send their children to college, all of these things that celebrities just assume we'll take for granted. And I think it's going to be a very similar thing to 2016, where you had celebrities endorsing Hillary, you had Beyonce, Jay-Z having concerts for her, and yet she lost the election. It ended up being very, very unpopular. And I don't think the Democrats have learned from their mistakes in the past, and in many ways they are repeating exactly what they did. They are running a very similar candidate with Joe Biden. He doesn't have very much appeal to the average everyday American. His vice president comes with a lot of controversy herself for the party that is saying that they don't like cops. They're saying that they're racist, we need to defund the police, and then they get Kamala Harris on the nomination, a woman who had previously said that Joe Biden is racist and that Joe Biden isn't qualified to be president, yet she jumped on board as soon as she was offered the position for vice president. A woman who faces enough controversy of her own. For instance, Tulsi Gabbard called her out on locking people up, particularly a man who was on death row, and withholding evidence that would have freed him for her own political gain. She locked people up for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she was ever a person who smoked marijuana. So she comes off, I think, to a lot of people as a hypocrite, and she comes off to a lot of people as a liar. And I think Joe Biden comes off in that same way. And a lot of people can say what they want about President Trump, but the man, he says what he thinks. He says what's true. You could say the same thing about his vice president, who makes his decisions based off of God and religion, and he believes in God and religion, and he takes that into account. He is a Christian, a dad, and a conservative first, I think he had said at one point. So Trump and Pence, I think, have been doing a very good job with relating to people. I think it takes a very special message to get a billionaire from New York to relate to the average everyday American, and Trump did just that. That's what got him the victory in 2016, and I think that's what is going to get him the victory now. Pennsylvania, they're saying, is going to go to Joe Biden. It's Biden's home state. Trump doesn't have a chance to win it, but they said the very same thing in 2016. They had Hillary up double digits in the polls. They said that there's no way that Trump can win Pennsylvania. Trump is not going to win any state in the Rust Belt. Hillary didn't even visit Wisconsin after the Democratic National Convention. They didn't even think it was a swing state, and he won Wisconsin. He won Pennsylvania. They said Kansas was in play, that South Carolina was in play, and he won those by about 20 points each. They said that North Carolina, Florida, Ohio, all of those are going to go to Hillary. Michigan, they're all going to go to Hillary. And then I think a lot of those people looked at what she had to say and her stances on energy, her stances on jobs. She was going after identity politics and saying she's going to get rid of their jobs. And Trump said, I'm going to make sure that you guys have a job, that you guys have a way to feed your family. And that resonated with a lot of Americans. And I think that it's going to be the same thing this time around, because Biden and Hillary Clinton have almost the exact same message. Biden is running on identity politics, and he is being endorsed by many celebrities that I think is hurting his campaign a lot. So we'll see what's going to happen this time around. Mail-in voting has been an issue with a lot of things. Many people are skeptical that it won't make their vote count. For instance, I believe it was in Atlanta, a dead cat who had been dead for, I believe, 12 years got a voter registration. A dead cat got a voter registration. So I think that takes away people's trust in the Postal Service on whether or not their vote is actually going to count. So I think every American just needs to make sure that they vote this November. And we're going to see what happens. But I think President Trump has a lot more support out there than anybody is letting on. And for instance, like you saw, we had people who traveled here hundreds of miles to see him, knowing that they wouldn't get in. We have this event capped off at 250. There was no shortage of people. Normally at his rallies, we have thousands of people who go. At Biden and Hillary rallies, I could count the number of attendees on one hand. So it's obvious where the support lies, and it's obvious who has the base behind them, and that's Donald Trump. He has a core group of supporters who follow him, who support him, who love him, and he's done a lot for them. He's been the one guy who stood up and has fought for a lot of them when the Democrats refused to pass a stimulus package in Congress, knowing that people were starving. They didn't have jobs, they didn't have a way to feed their family, and they were just going to go into recess. But President Trump had said, you know what, enough of that. Enough of your bickering. I'm just going to pass the stimulus package. I'm going to lower people's taxes at the same time. And he did just that. And a lot of the people were saying, oh, he can't do that. That's outrageous. But I don't think he really cares. And I think at the end of the day, he just wants to do what's best for the American people, which in the end is best for our country, no matter what your beliefs are or who you support. We have to do what's best for our country. So President Trump is going to be here in a few minutes. He's probably going to be speaking about what Biden had said at the DNC last night. He's probably going to be talking about some of the manufacturing jobs that he has been bringing back and his response with COVID versus the Democrats' plan with COVID. For instance, the Democrats' plan with COVID, keep everything shut down until after the election, which, so I'm getting word that President Trump is going to be here any minute, so we're going to what? I'm sorry. Okay, we're going to toss it back to HQ. They have a quick message for you guys, so we will be back in a few minutes with President Trump following shortly after. So thank you guys very much.
All right, Alex, thank you, and thanks, Liz, for your hard work there on the ground. Our fourth campaign stop in 3 days. Today, we wrap up the week in Old Forge, Pennsylvania, just down the road from Scranton. Joe Biden's hometown. President Trump will be here any minute to deliver remarks just hours before Joe Biden is slated to accept the Democratic nomination. So this is going to be exciting. I'm telling you to share this broadcast right now with everybody you know, because it's going to be explosive. You know the president will have a lot to say after his tweets last night following the speech by Barack Hussein Obama at the Democratic National Convention. He is ready to go. So this is going to be a fiery speech. So I encourage everyone watching now, if you have Twitter, retweet this, or retweet our broadcast, tweet it out, tag us. I'll even retweet you here from the studio. Share it on Facebook, whatever you need to do. Let's get the word out. We have been number one. We've beaten Fox News now for the last couple of these things, or tied them, or came pretty close. So make sure that you share this. Let's get the word out. Fox probably won't even show this full thing live on cable. So tell everybody to come over to RSBN as soon as they inevitably cut the stream off. So again, thank you. We're in Old Forge, Pennsylvania, awaiting President Trump, who is he may already have arrived here. I'm monitoring the pool reports here in my email as I speak to you here. He spoke to reporters at the Scranton Wilkes-Barre airport there for a few minutes before he left to come here to Mariotti Building Products. So he should be here any moment. So let's get the view count up. And again, we hope and we suspect that campaigning will resume. We don't have anything on the schedule yet, but given the success and the streaming numbers of these latest events in the last 4 days, we believe that he will, hopefully the campaign will continue to do these kinds of events in place of rallies, which the media doesn't want him to do because of China virus. So we need to campaign. President Trump is a great campaigner. We all know that from 2016. He is great at firing up and energizing his base. And that's one of the things he does best. And so that is what we're looking forward to covering. This is what we've been preparing 3 years for ever since 2016. You can see the difference in our production value, and that's all thanks to you, the viewer. So we are a small company from Auburn, Alabama. We are giving the mainstream media a run for their money, beating most of them in the online streaming rankings despite being banned from the YouTube search. Try finding our broadcast now by searching Trump Live. Try to find this speech live. Try to find us in the search results. You won't, because we're banned, but yet we still compete with, and in most cases beat, the mainstream media in streaming every single Trump event. That's a testament to you, the viewer, and what we've built here at RSBN, and we're proud of it, and we'll continue to do it. And we thank you. If you want to support us, the way to do that is to go to our website. It's rsbnetwork.com/donate. That's rsbnetwork.com/donate. The money is used to get us to all these events and pay for our operating costs. We appreciate you very much. God bless. Enjoy the speech, and we'll see you back here afterwards.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm your host, Liz Willis. This has been a fun day so far here in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. It's also been a beautiful day. We are standing here in front of the stage where President Trump is scheduled to begin his remarks at 3 p.m. This is all Eastern time. It's currently 3:30 p.m., so we are running about half an hour behind schedule so far. We can expect it to be a couple more minutes before the motorcade rolls up. We have yet to see it. We do know that Air Force One was running a little bit behind today, but we're not mad. We're just excited to be here amongst another campaign stop. This is the fourth official campaign stop for President Trump this week alone. He has already traveled over 6,000 miles. The first stop being in Mankato, Minnesota on Monday around 2 p.m. Second stop being in Oshkosh, Wisconsin around 4:30 p.m. The next day was Tuesday. President Trump had a large event in Yuma, Arizona. That is about 3 hours outside of Phoenix, mostly desert. It was very hot. The high that day was 114 degrees, not including the UV index. It was sweltering. I think we're all still hydrating from those of us who were able to cover that event. So this is yesterday. My days are all mixed. Yesterday was Wednesday. Was a traveling day for us. No official campaign stops for President Trump. I don't know if I just missed something. Sounded like someone was yelling, but so today, of course, is in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. We're about 10 miles outside of Scranton, Pennsylvania, where Biden is allegedly from. However, those people that I interviewed today, I don't really know much on it. Nobody wants to claim him. They say he's not really from here. He just happened to live here for a few years. So Pennsylvania is not claiming Biden. Oh, he is not taking coronavirus lightly. Do y'all see that? Okay, do you need to dress like that? No, here. Show the camera so they can see what I'm talking about. This is like COVID proof 2020. Oh, it's gone. Y'all can't see it. It is ski goggles and all. I'll bring my ski goggles next time. I'm going to hop into the donations right now and just say thank you to those. Again, we are really appreciative. This was definitely a different week for us here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. We are used to rallies. If you're familiar with us, you know that, with 20 to 30,000 people in attendance. So these are much smaller events. They are not technically being billed as rallies. However, they have a lot of the same feel. They are really decorated beautifully. I'm not sure. Actually, what I'm getting to stare at is kind of prettier than what y'all get to look at. I don't know if the camera can do like a 180, or if have you panned that already? You can't? It's beautiful. There's a huge American flag draped between two, I don't even know what those are called.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States,
Okay.
Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American.
Thank you very much. This is really great. We love this state. We won this state. I don't know if you know what's going on outside, but that's right, Lou. That's as many people as you can possibly have all the way back. How did you get in? That's my question. I know you're special friends of a group of people that have done a really good job, and I want to thank you very much for being here. But Pennsylvania's been very important to me. I went to school in Pennsylvania, as you know, college, and I love it. Please sit down. And by the time I finish, I'm going to have a nice sunburn right here. This is great. Where's my sunblock? But I want to thank everybody. In 75 days, we're going to win this state. We're going to win 4 more years. They've had us under siege, and we beat them, and we beat them, and we keep beating them. But I'll tell you, you've never seen anything. No president should have to go through what we've gone through. No president. Should never happen. And I watched President Obama last night, and I watched him talking about everything, and I had to put it out. I said, yeah, but he spied on our campaign, and he got caught. You know, that's about as bad a thing as you can imagine. If that happened to another campaign on the other side, they would have had 25 people in jail for many years already. Many, many years. It's a disgrace. But in 3 years, and what we've done in just this short period of time, there's been no administration that's accomplished what we've accomplished. And that's despite pandemics and despite all of the opposition and all of the witch hunts, the phony witch hunts. No administration's done what we've done. We've secured our borders, brought back our manufacturing jobs, rebuilt our military, wiped out the ISIS caliphate 100%, killed our terrorist enemies, achieved American energy independence, and guess what? We're just getting started. That's just a small part of it. That's a small part of it. At stake in this election is the survival, and you know this, you know it, and I mean it, and I've never meant it more. At stake in this election is the survival of our nation. It's true, because we're dealing with crazy people on the other side. They've gone totally stone cold crazy. You know, you look at Hillary, she was a lot smarter than Joe. But I'll tell you, there was a certain sense of sanity 4 years ago. These people have gone insane. And they're radical left, and you look at some of the things happening in these Democrat-run cities, which we could solve in 2 minutes. All they have to do is call us, right? Our great ex-congressman. All they have to do is, and thank you for being here, but all they have to do is call us. We'll be in there in 2 minutes, and we'll take care of the problem. Joe Biden is a puppet of the radical left movement that seeks to destroy the American way of life. They don't understand, and probably when it happened, they'd say, what did we ever do? Joe Biden has pledged to hike your taxes by $4 trillion in the largest tax hike in history. And they're going to waste the money on the Green New Deal, the Green New Deal. You know what you get out of that? Nothing. Nothing except debt and death. They want to eviscerate the Second Amendment. They want to take away your guns. They want to take away your guns. Well, you remember that, just that one point alone. and they want to take away your guns. So who's going to vote for that? I mean, we want our Second Amendment. I've held it strong, and you think it was easy? I've held it totally strong. Give free health care to illegal aliens. You don't get free health care. Expand deadly sanctuary cities. Force taxpayers to subsidize late-term abortion. Shut down the energy fields of Pennsylvania. They want to shut them down. No fossil fuel. No fossil fuel. Texas isn't too happy either. Go to Texas. I just left Texas a little while ago. 2 weeks. I said, they don't want energy, they don't want guns, and they don't want religion. Guy stands up and says, not going to win Texas. But you have the same thing, because you're a big fracking state. You want to see your taxes go up? Stop fracking. Doesn't hurt you at all, fracking. They want to throw up windmills that are going to ruin your houses. I mean, put up a big windmill. You walk out your door, you see this big monster churning. But even that they don't want to do. I don't think they want to do anything. I think they want to close your businesses. But just remember, Second Amendment, they're going to take it away. As sure as you're sitting or standing, they're going to take it away from you. The Second Amendment, don't let it happen. Close down charter schools, eliminate school choice, so important. Abolish the suburbs. They want to put low-income housing in the suburbs. So the American dream, and by the way, we have a lot of minority groups that live in the suburbs. African American, Asian American, Hispanic American, all did phenomenally last year with jobs. Best jobs we've ever had in the history of our country, best economy we've ever had. But they're a big part of the suburbs, and they want to put low-income housing in the suburbs at a level that they've never done it before. And it's been this has been going on for 20 years. I terminated the regulation that did that. They said, well, we can change it. I said, no, let's terminate it. People have to aspire to go there. They want to aspire to live in the suburbs. They want to abolish cash bail, releasing 400,000 criminals onto our streets. Think of no more cash bail. Look at what happened in New York. Cuomo ended cash bail. Cuomo. That wasn't even de Blasio that did it. It was Cuomo, the governor. He ended it in New York. And now the crime rate has gone through the roof. The speaker at Biden's convention proudly declared, we're talking about abolishing the police, we're talking about abolishing ICE, and we're talking about abolishing prisons. And that's the only thing they're not abolishing are taxes, because your taxes are going to go up at a level that you've never even heard of before. If you want a vision of your life under Biden presidency, think of the smoldering ruins in Minneapolis, the violent anarchy of Portland, the blood-stained sidewalks of Chicago, and imagine the mayhem coming to your town and every single town in America. You're not going to have law and order. Do you notice? And I shouldn't say it because I'll put it in his speech if he can read it, which I doubt. But they'll put it in there tonight. I shouldn't say it because he's going to speak later. Should have a good audience. People are going to find out what the hell's going on. I see he hasn't answered a question since they just said, I just see it on the newscast, since July 17th. Hasn't taken a question from the fake news back there. Now think of it. I take about 100 questions a day. These people. It's one thing I've learned, the people heading these other countries, whether it's President Xi of China, Putin of Russia, Erdogan, Turkey, any of them. Kim Jong-un, North Korea. Remember, we're going to be in war with North Korea. Remember, it's going to be a war, right, Congressman? It's going to be a war. If Trump said, oh, we're going to have a war. No, it would have been a war if you had Hillary Clinton. It would have been a war if Obama were allowed to stay any longer. He thought there was going to be a war. Where's the war? I don't see the war. Maybe things happen. You don't know. But there's been no war. Nobody killed. You would have lost 25, 30 million people. They don't say that. They say 100,000 people. No. Seoul is 32 million people, and it's right next to the cannon fire. And we have a good relationship with him. I have a good relationship with him. When I say that, isn't that terrible, they say. No, it's not terrible. It's great. It's great. I have a relationship. President Obama said when I sat down, that first meeting, right, in the White House, he said it was the biggest problem we had in North Korea. And he would have had a big problem. It would have been a hell of a war, I'll tell you right now. You'd probably be in that war right now. So When I say that we got along and we've met, everyone says, oh, that's so terrible. No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Doesn't mean bad things don't happen, but it's a good thing. There's only one thing standing between your family and the radical left-wing mob, and that's your vote this November. This is a very important, I feel like I'm a wall. You know, we built the wall on the southern border. We're going to have 300 miles by 2 weeks from now, even less, 300 miles. And by the end of the year, we'll be up to almost 500 miles, and then we're going to go on a little bit further, some areas that are loose, a little bit loose, we found out. We're going to put a little bit more, about 536 miles, going up at a record clip. It's doing phenomenally well. If you want mobs and criminals, you got to vote Democrat. Look, because that's what it's about. They don't talk about law and order. Now, I'm bringing it up now, but I haven't seen anybody get up. I got just the other day endorsed by all the sheriffs of Florida, all the law enforcement. I got endorsed by Pennsylvania. I got endorsed by Texas, by Ohio. I mean, I think everybody, I don't know. How can you endorse somebody else? How can law enforcement endorse somebody else? We gave all of our ex-Army equipment. You know, we have tremendous surplus equipment. And it was sitting in warehouses all over the United States. Hundreds of millions of dollars, I distributed it to the police. Whereas Biden and Obama, they didn't want to do that because they said, no, it makes the police look too strong. I want the police to look strong. They've got to look strong. And a lot of it was protective equipment. If you want jobs and you want a lot of police and you want a lack of crime, you know, if you take away New York and Chicago and some of these terrible cities that you see about, you know, with the crime is so bad. I left New York 4 years ago. And I could see, because he's a terrible mayor, I could see there were things that were happening that were bad. He's no Rudy Giuliani, I can tell you that. But I could see things were happening. But the last 6 months, 7 months, it just exploded. It's incredible. Crime up 368%. 368%. It's crazy. It's crazy. But if you want law and order, and I can say it, sometimes they'll say, sir, say it gently. People want to hear gently. They want, say it gently. Don't say law and order. Say, if you'd like law and order and safety. No, I can't do that. If you want law and order, you got to have law and order. You can't have what's happening in Portland. Did you see the kid get whacked the other day? Just whacked like he was a piece of garbage? I mean, who could take it? We don't want that. And pretty soon we're going to have to send in our people because, you know, we're supposed to wait till request. Now, I don't know if they're embarrassed or what, but these Democrat cities, they're out of control. They have none. Look at Seattle where she said, no, we want a summer of love. I mean, this woman is crazy. And they would have never taken back Seattle except they knew we were going in the next day. That's the only reason they even did it. So tonight, we have Slow Joe will speak at the Democrat convention, and I'm sure that he'll just knock him dead. And he'll remind us that he was born in Scranton, but you know, he left like 70 years ago, right? He left a long time ago. He wasn't born, you know, I view it differently. He'd say he was born here, but he left when he was like 8, 9, or 10. So he left. 68 years ago he left. A long time ago. So I view it differently. He wasn't born here. He abandoned Scranton, okay? His family had something to do with that, you know, his parents. But he left Scranton. I mean, he keeps talking about, I was born in Scranton, I lived in Scranton, yeah, for a few years, and then he left for another state. You know the state. But the Scranton stuff, that's why I figured I'd come here and explain to you one thing, but I think you people know it better than I do. He left. He abandoned Pennsylvania. He abandoned Scranton. He was here for a short period of time, and he didn't even know it. And today, it's amazing. It goes around in a circle. He still doesn't know it. Okay. But he spent the last half century in Washington selling out our country and ripping off our jobs and letting other countries steal our jobs. Mexico, China, all of them, just stealing our jobs. He's been there for 47 years. And now he's going to come in and make a change. I don't think so. His son walked out with $1.5 billion to manage. That's millions of dollars a year. And the son didn't even have a job before that. And I asked the Wall Street people, tell me, is that possible? Smartest people, top people on Wall Street. They say, can't happen. It can't happen. The smartest people, the people that do get money from every country, from everybody, they say, can't happen. He walked out of there in 10 minutes with $1.5 billion. You explain that one, right? And then if they want to look at him, nobody looks at him. Nobody looks at Ukraine. He gets $83,000 a month and a $3 million upfront payment because of his great expertise in energy, but he had none. And he even admitted, no, I don't know anything about energy. But he goes on to an energy company, gets millions of dollars, 83, it's actually double that because it was him and some guy that knew less than he did. And is that okay? Yeah. Is it okay when Joe Biden goes and says, $1 billion, you're not getting it unless you get rid of those prosecutors? You talk about quid pro quo, right? That's your quid pro quo. And they did. Quid pro quo, right? And they did. They got rid of the prosecutors. And then he's called. He says, now you're getting your money. Okay? Figure this. How about if that's a Republican doing that? What happens to that Republican? It's over. It's a disgrace. But it's changing slowly, too slowly as far as I'm concerned. Joe Biden is no friend of Pennsylvania. He's actually, for the reasons we just said, he's your worst nightmare. Biden supported every single globalist attack on Pennsylvania workers. NAFTA, China's entry into the World Trade Organization, which built China into a power. TPP, Korea, the horrible, ridiculous Paris Climate Accord, which stripped our nation of its energy, and the so-called Clean Power Plan. The only good thing about it was the name. It was a horrible, unfair deal. Horrible for you and horrible for Pennsylvania. They want to take your power away. You know what your power is? Your power is the billions of dollars you make on going deep into the earth and taking out what you have to take out. Everything you want from fracking. You don't realize how big a fracking state. Does anybody know how big fracking is? You're not going to be allowed to frack anymore. You're not going to be allowed, no oil, no nothing. No oil, no gas, no nothing. Just think of that. What would happen is well, first of all, many of you, I guess 600,000, 670,000 lose their jobs. No money, no oil, higher taxes. Your stock market would crash. If they get in beyond fracking, if they get in, you'll have your 401ks, which are setting records. By the way, stock market just hit a new high. And don't forget, we've been going through this horrible plague from China. It just hit a new high. So think of that. It's incredible. But your 401ks, how many people have 401ks here? Good? That's a lot. That's a lot. How about if they went down to like 10% of what they are now? Because that can happen. That can happen. And it will happen if we're stupid and we don't go out and vote. And secure your ballot. Absentee ballots are good. But the stuff where they take millions and millions of ballots and send them all over the place, we'll grab it and we'll just put them in a big pile there. Everyone grab it. It's a disgrace. Even common sense tells you that. Look at New York. Look at what happened in New Jersey. Look at what happened in Virginia. Look at what happened. I won't go through the details. You know the story. They have no control whatsoever. In New Jersey, 20% of the ballots were defective, fraudulent, 20%. And that's because they did a good job, okay? So this is just a way they're trying to steal the election. And everybody knows that. Because the only way they're going to win is by a rigged election. I really believe that. I saw the crowd outside. For every sign we had for Trump Pence, every single sign, and that's not that atypical. In Texas, we had people on the highways, on the roadways. We'd drive into some oil well where we gave a speech. But it was a 20-minute drive between the plane and that oil well. There were tens of thousands of people, and they had the signs, Trump and Trump Pence and flags, American flags. You know, when the other side does show up, which is rarely, they never have an American flag. I can always tell if there's a group of people. You never see an American flag. The fake news would tell you that. But you never see, but they don't put it down. They'll tell you that personally, but they won't write it. But you never see an American flag. It's an amazing thing. But if you look outside today, Is it 100 to 1, 200 to 1? And then you'll read tomorrow that Biden was well represented. He wasn't well. There were hardly anybody there. Every once in a while, I'd see a Biden. I'd be waving to the people. I'd see a Biden. I'd say, well, I'd wave to her anyway. Who cares? No, but was it 100 to 1? I mean, it's just massive. And you'll read tomorrow that he had a massive crowd also. Pennsylvania lost more than 1 in 3 manufacturing jobs after NAFTA and China's entry into the WTO. And that was a vote and courtesy of Sleepy Joe. Biden looked American labor into the eyes, and took their dues, their union endorsements, and their votes. The unions have to be more reasonable. They have to be more reasonable, and we love the unions. We love non-union. I've had it all. You know, I built every building I built in New York was with unions, and unions are fine. You know, a lot of Republicans don't want me to say that, but I'll tell you, unions are fine. Tell them to keep their dues down, please. But they're fine. And you have unions here, you have non-unions. But what I talk about is the worker. They treated our workers horribly. We lost our jobs to foreign lands. Our workers got fired, whether they were in the unions or not. Then he sold out and he passed the Cadillac tax, you know what that is, on union health care plans, attacked their energy jobs, and sent their factories to China. And now he's back begging for their votes. And, you know, people, it's like a custom. Democrats, except with me. I came in, I got so many union votes, I get far more. I mean, you've seen it. A couple of people either lost their job or came very close that were unbeatable because they led a charge for the Democrats, for Crooked Hillary last time. They led a charge. And the people in the union didn't want that. They didn't want Hillary, they wanted Trump. And we had union revolts, we call them. They revolted. But these guys right here, are you all union people? I can tell. Are you union? It's good, right? It's fine. That's fine. Look at that. You get a hand. Certain parts of the country, they wouldn't be as happy, but that's okay, right? And it's great. But they were not happy. And you know what was happening? They were not happy when the bosses got endorsed by the Democrats. American labor will vote for Trump-Pence in 2020. They're all saying that. And this area is going to be an incredible area. This used to be all Democrat until I came along. Until I came along, this was Democrat. This was heavily union. It was Democrat. It was everything, but they like Trump. And I'm going to never let you down. And they will let you down. They will let you down. First of all, the country will be let down because the country, you will see a crash like you've never seen before. And as good as those stock market numbers are, there's a headwind. The headwind is that if he won, the market's going to crash. The Green New Deal, all of the different things, socialized medicine, that's what they want. It's socialized medicine. No doctor, no plan. Obama lied about it 28 times. Remember he said you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan. It wasn't true. 28 different times they have him. For the last 4 years, we've been reversing Biden's betrayals and delivering historic wins for the people of Pennsylvania. Your state lost over 50,000 manufacturing jobs when Biden was vice president. In my first 3 years, Pennsylvania gained 14,000 jobs, manufacturing, and going up at a level that nobody's ever seen before. We'll catch all of those jobs that were lost. They said manufacturing jobs will never come back. Remember, you need a magic wand. Where's the magic wand? Well, we have the magic wand. My first week in office, I withdrew from the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It would have been totally destructive to your jobs. It would have been a horror show. I withdrew from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord, which would have cost us so many billions of dollars, and all it would have done is made the competition even tougher all over the world. I believe it was designed to hurt the United States and to get jobs away from us and companies. I stood up to China's rampant cheating, plunder, and theft. I repealed that horrible tax. So many taxes. How many taxes did I repeal? You know, I'm getting a list of them now. I'll have it for you for the next meeting because I'll be back to Pennsylvania. That I promise. And I'm standing up to the special interests and the big pharma. Weeks ago, I signed 4 historic directives to dramatically reduce the cost of prescription drugs. Think of it. You know what I did? I signed
I signed, as you know, and as you've seen, I guess, but other countries have sometimes 10% of what we pay for the same exact pill, same drug, same prescription drug. And I signed a deal that we get, and it's not signed by the drug companies. They hate it. They're taking advertising. Whenever you see bad ads on me from drug companies, just remember one thing. That means your prices are coming down. That means your prices. But it's called favored nations, favored nations. We were the least favored nation in the whole world. We paid the highest price. So I signed, if Germany, as an example, pays 10 cents for a pill, and we pay $3 for the exact same pill, we pay 10 cents also. Now, what means is they're going to go up, we're going to come way down. We could drop drug prices by 50, 60, or 70% at a level that has made them very angry. And rebates, too. I ended rebates. Rebates go to you. Nobody else would have done that. They could have done that a long time ago. Biden could have done it. He didn't know what it meant. But I will tell you, most people do know what, but they can't do it because Big Pharma is the most powerful group. And I guess they say number one. Is it number one, Mr. But you didn't take any money from Big Pharma, right? Good. I'll bet you didn't. I'll bet you didn't, my man. I ended the NAFTA disaster, and I signed USMCA into law. USMCA is phenomenal. And it's going to keep your companies from moving to Mexico and other places. After years of building up other nations, we're finally building up our nation. And we are finally doing something that I've been talking about for years. We are finally putting America first, and I've done that right from the beginning. We're honored to be joined today by some incredible warriors that were really fantastic to me and friends of mine, but they really fight. These Pennsylvania people are fighters, in case you haven't noticed. Representative Scott Perry. Scott, where's Scott? Thank you, Scott. Great job, Scott. The Warriors. Lloyd Smucker. Lloyd, thank you. Thank you, Lloyd. John Joyce. John, thank you. Great job. Great job. And a friend of mine and a great, great man. He would have been here forever if he decided to, but he decided maybe it was time to do something else. But this was a fighter like no other fighter. And those three other gentlemen will attest, right? Our friend Lou Barletta. Lou. And they're shouting, I'm saying this for the media, they're shouting, Lou. They're not booing. You know, they'll say, he stood up and he got booed horribly. It was a horrible, embarrassing. No, that's what they do. They're fake. Thanks also to our congressional candidates, Jim Bognett. Jim? Oh, look at him. I've heard good things, Jim. Is it easy out there on the stump? Oh, good, good. And you're going to win, Jim. You're going to win. And Lisa Scheller. Lisa, thank you very much. Great job. I hear you two are doing really good. If you have any problems, call Lou. He'll help you. Let me also thank my campaign state chairwoman, Bernie Comfort. Where are you? Thank you very much, Bernie. Thank you, Bernie. Great job you're doing. How are we doing in Pennsylvania, okay? Yeah, I think so. I think so. They did a lot of manipulation. Also, a friend of mine for a long time and a great friend of his father and maybe his grandfather. I don't even know. I hate to say that because it makes me sound a little bit older than I feel. I feel young. State GOP Chairman Lawrence Tabus. What a great family. I miss Dan Tabus. You know that Dan Tabus? What a great man he was. I don't know if you know him, but he started out with about 2 cents, and he ended up being a rich man, and he employed a lot of people, and he was a real friend of mine. He didn't like many people. That was long before I ran for politics. He didn't like many people, but he liked Trump, right? People would go, he was a rough guy. People would go up to him and say, hi, Dan, how you doing? He became a very successful guy. And he'd look at him, he'd say, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to talk to Trump. I like that kind of a guy, right? But he was a fantastic man, actually. He was a good man. Before the China virus invaded our shores, we built the greatest economy in history. Nothing even close. We added 7 million jobs nationwide, including 209,000 new jobs in Pennsylvania. By the way, in the last 3 months, we right, Bernie? Over 9 million jobs, an all-time record. This is now during and hopefully closing moments of the pandemic. You notice how anytime there's a good country, they like to compare, because we've done an incredible job. You look at our mortality rates, you look at all the things, but they like to compare us to others, so they were talking about New Zealand. New Zealand, it's over. It's over for New Zealand. Everything's gone. They're beautiful. They had a massive breakout yesterday. South Korea, it's over. It's over. Big breakout yesterday. You know, it's a tough deal. We've done a great job. We're a big country. And, you know, maybe this is popular to say. Maybe it's not. I don't care. Because based on the crowd outside, it looks to me like we're going to win this state. But I think by a lot. But your governor has you in a shutdown like what's going on? How did they all get out there? And they were not socially distanced, I can tell you. We'll have to, on the way back, they'll still be there because they're incredible people. But what is he doing? He's got you in a shutdown still. Shutdown wolf. He can't do this. He's going to destroy your soul. You know what happens is depression, anxiety, problems with family members, drugs, heart attacks, obesity. I mean, what is he doing? It's more dangerous than the virus. He's got to open this state up. You know when he's going to open it up? No, I know what he's doing, because a lot of them are doing it in the great state of North Carolina, right? They're doing it in North Carolina, but they're doing it in a lot of different areas, but they've got to open this state up, and you have to do it, right? This wonderful, incredible commonwealth, right? I would call it a commonwealth. Do you have a mind if they call it a state? No. Call it commonwealth. Whatever the hell, you want to open it up. And what is he doing? What is he doing? So the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we're going to get it open, and I know when he's going to do it. You know when it is? November 4th. November 4th, he's going to say, well, we're going to open it up. Then your results are no better than other states, by the way. It's not like, oh, gee, this is great. It's Michigan has it closed down, and North Carolina has it closed down, and this Commonwealth has it closed down. It's really, it's a very sad thing to see, and the results are not good. The results, it's not like, oh, this is wonderful. The results in some of these places are worse than those that are open, and you know, you have other states up. I mean, you look at the country, it's really, we have states with thriving, and there's no shutdown. It's enough. We shut it down because we had to. We didn't know anything about what was happening. We shut it down. We learned a lot. Protect our seniors, et cetera, et cetera. You've all heard it. But we learned a lot. Then we opened it up, and now we have a big V. Remember they said the V will never happen? We have a big, beautiful V. We enacted the largest financial relief package in American history. And through the Paycheck Protection Program, we saved nearly 2 million Pennsylvania jobs. We've also delivered nearly, that's right, 2 million jobs. We delivered nearly $11 billion in direct support to Pennsylvania families. And over the past 3 months, we've gained over 9 million jobs. It's nobody can even believe the numbers. And watch, the numbers will get better and better because we're opening up. And frankly, the Democrats should do it. They should do what's right for the country. They know they should open. Wolf knows he should open. He knows that. And how about his person with her mother, right? With her mother, where the mother was protected, but the other people weren't. You had a massive number of deaths in nursing homes, but 95-year-old mother, as I read, and I said, well, that person will be gone very quickly, and that person is still there. I would say that's something that if somebody ever wants to run for the governor of Pennsylvania, that would be something good to use. So they took the mother out of harm's way and then moved her back when everything was okay. And nobody says anything about that? And there's no firing? Retail spending is now at an all-time high. Who would have believed that? Auto production has gained 28%. Biden would terminate this unprecedented recovery. He wants to impose a permanent lockdown combined with a socialist takeover of the U.S. economy. Did you hear him the other day? Lock it down. He wants to lock it down. So everything that we've gained over the last number of months, he wants to lock it down. No, we're doing good. Florida's going down substantially. Arizona done a great job in Arizona. Texas going down. California's going down. They'd open these states up. And everybody wants to practice good hygiene, all of the different things. Do the masks. I mean, it's not going to hurt. Do them. Do them. If you feel it, do them. But these things, these places have to be opened up. But November 4th, you'll open. Don't worry about it. But that's a long time from now, if you think about it, right? That's a long time from now. In Biden's policy manifesto, written with socialist Bernie Sanders, Biden pledges to quickly outlaw American oil. He's going to outlaw American oil. Coal, American coal, he's going to outlaw it. Natural gas, which is really an amazing form of energy. It's clean. By mandating net zero carbon emissions from all homes and buildings within 9 years and from all power plants by 2035. So he wants to basically get rid of all fossil fuels. And you know, I know everything about energy. I know so much about energy. Our new forms of alternative energy just aren't powerful enough to power these massive plants and all of the things that are creating all of these jobs and all of this wealth for your state and for the country. This week in California, there were rolling blackouts because the radical Democrats have mandated impossible restrictions on energy production. And I see again the forest fires are starting. They're starting again in California. I said, you got to clean your floors, you got to clean your forests. They have many, many years of leaves and broken trees. And they're like so flammable. You touch them and it goes up. I've been telling them this now for 3 years, but they don't want to listen. The environment. But they have massive fires again in California. Maybe we're just going to have to make them pay for it because they don't listen to us. We say you got to get rid of the leaves, you got to get rid of the debris, you got to get rid of the fallen trees. You know, when a tree falls, after 13 to 14 months, it becomes extremely dry. You look at some of these fires, they don't really catch where the trees are growing because they're wet. The water's pouring up the tree. And they just don't want to listen. They mocked us when I said that. You got to clean your floors, just an expression. Clean the floors. And they have many, many years, decades of leaves, dry leaves and everything. That's why they have it. There are other places, forest cities. They're forests. They were developed in forests, and they don't have any problem with more flammable trees than you have in California, but they just don't want to do it. Senior citizens were forced to sit in their homes with no air conditioning in the middle of the summer, and Biden wants to eliminate power plants all across America. You had a problem over here. But think of that, if they do that, you get used to no air conditioning. They probably don't want that either. Under my administration, we ended the war on American energy, and I put the miners back to work. We put them back to work. The miners are back to work now. I approved the Keystone XL and the Dakota Access pipelines almost right at the beginning. I just approved them. Right at the beginning. And a lot of jobs. And it's, by the way, it's cleaner. It's a much cleaner form of transportation. America is now the #1 producer of oil and natural gas in the world. Think of that one. To protect our great steel workers, do you have a couple of any steel workers here, by the way? To protect our great steel workers, I placed tariffs on nations that were dumping cheap foreign steel all over the place. And we have created an incredible industry out of nothing. It was ready to go out. Within months, steel imports dropped by 26%, and American steel production surged by 18 million tons almost immediately. Biden abandoned the steel industry and saved other industries that were worthless, but he didn't save the steel industry. We saved the steel industry. You wouldn't have a steel industry right now. When Joe Biden was vice president, the border was an open pipeline for criminals, gang members, and cartels, flooding our schools with drugs. Under my administration, we ended the catch and release, horrible catch and release. You catch the criminal, you take their name, you say, is this right? We don't have identification. Oh, that's okay. It's like voting. They don't want to have voter ID. Why? There's only one reason the Democrats don't want voter ID. You have ID for almost everything. You have your picture, everything nice, but not on a vote. Most important thing you can do is to vote. And voter ID, but they don't want it. There's only one reason they don't want voter ID, and you know what that is, right? That's really better. You guys all in favor, by the way, of voter ID? Huh? Everybody? If they weren't, they wouldn't be congressmen in good standing for very long, I'll tell you that. We stopped asylum fraud, and we deported 20,000 gang members and 423,000 criminal aliens. We got them the hell out of our country. But if Biden is elected, all of this security will quickly vanish. Control of the border will be ceded to violent cartels and the left-wing crazies who empower them. And, you know, you used to see these massive amounts of illegals coming up from Honduras, right? From Guatemala, El Salvador. They'd come up and there'd be just thousands of them. You don't see that anymore. Mexico is putting they have right now, they have for months, 27,000 of their soldiers on our southern border. You got to do it. You got to do it. Mexico's been really working with us very well, I have to tell you. The new president of Mexico, now he's not so new, he's been there a little while, but the president of Mexico has done a great job as far as I'm concerned from the standpoint of our relationship and our relationship with Mexico. In his joint manifesto with Bernie Sanders, Biden has called for a complete suspension of deportations, closing down detention facilities, ending border prosecutions. Think of this. Restoring and expanding catch and release, handing out free welfare to new arrivals, work permits for illegal crossers, and mass amnesty for all illegal aliens. Can you believe this? No, this is a Bernie. This is Bernie plus. You know, I thought Biden would be taken right. This is to show you how good a negotiator is. Bernie took him left. He's supposed to start, and they're supposed to meet a little bit left of center, maybe, for them. For us, it's right of center. But Bernie actually took him left, along with AOC +3, right? AOC plus. It's another beauty. She's the designer of the Green New Deal. She knows nothing about the environment. She probably never studied. Ask her, how many hours have you taken on the environment? Biden wants to open your borders in the middle of the pandemic. Thank goodness we have that 300 miles of wall, because you would have had a problem like you never would have seen before. I want strong borders, and I want safe communities. If we don't have borders, I was saying this from day one, if we don't have borders, we don't have a country. I imposed a travel ban on jihadist regions to keep terrorists out of our country. And it worked. And it got approved. And the press said he failed. And they were right. The lower court failed. Your appeals court failed. And I won at the Supreme Court. So they still say it failed because I lost at the first two courts. That's how dishonest they are. They say he lost because I lost in the first two courts, but we won at the Supreme Court. They forget to mention that fact. Joe Biden has pledged to remove this ban, opening the floodgates to terror and terror hotspots, and increasing the number of refugees allowed into our country by 700%. That's the manifesto of AOC and Bernie. Joe Biden and Kamala, she's another beauty, also strongly support the deadly sanctuary cities that have been so bad for you and everybody else. As district attorney in San Francisco, Kamala put a drug-dealing illegal alien into a job and jobs program instead of into prison. 4 months later, the illegal alien robbed a 29-year-old woman, mowed her down with an SUV, fracturing her skull and ruining her life. We believe our country should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not for criminal aliens. After 8 long years, Joe Biden and Barack Obama left America weak, disrespected, and endangered. We are respected again. We are a respected country again. They said that one of the leaders called up, top leader of one of the countries, he asked me to call President Erdogan of Turkey, who I get along with very well. He said, sir, please, would you do me a favor? Call Erdogan. I said, why can't you do it? He says, you're the only one he respects. You're the only person he respects. I tell you this story. I like telling very personal stories. But they did say that. You're the only one he'll listen to. I said, is that because of the United States? They said, no, it's because of you. So, you know, that's not so bad. I might as well tell you the stories because they won't. We've invested more than $2 trillion to rebuild our military. Our military's in the best shape it's ever been. And everything is made in the USA. And we've revived the historic shipyard in a place called Philadelphia with hundreds and hundreds of new jobs. You know that. And we've just launched Space Force. I never talked about it in the campaign trail, Lou, right? I never talked about it. I'm the only one probably that ever ran for office in this country that's achieved more than I said I would. I never talked about Space Force. I never talked about it. But I realized how important it was, and we got it. A 6th branch, think of that. 6th branch, that's a big deal. American rockets are once again sending American astronauts into space. We renewed NASA. It was a field of weeds. A field of weeds. President Obama closed it down. We're now sending rockets up. And a lot of those rockets are paid by rich people. They like sending up rockets for whatever reason. They like it. I say, go ahead. You can pay us a little rent, and you can use our property. We withdrew from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal, a horror show. The ISIS caliphate was destroyed. The founder and leader of ISIS, the animal known as al-Baghdadi, is dead. The world's #1 terrorist, Qasem Soleimani, is dead. Joe Biden voted for the war in Iraq. I kept us out of new wars. Everyone said, oh, Trump, it's his personality. He'll be in a war his first week. Instead of that, I got you out of wars. We're down to a minimum number in Iraq. Afghanistan will be down very shortly to 4,000 troops, and that'll come back shortly too. Syria, we took them all out other than we kept the oil, if that's okay with you. We kept the oil. We have some back and keeping the oil. We should have kept the oil in Iraq, too. Remember, I used to say, keep the oil, don't go in. I'd say, don't go into Iraq. But I was a civilian. Nobody cared. I was like you. So nobody cares. I want to get that mosquito out of here. I don't like this. They'll say it's cruelty to animals. I don't like. No, it's true. They were saying the other night, the shark. They were saying, those sharks, we have to protect them. I said, wait a minute, wait. They actually want to remove all the seals in order to save the shark. I said, wait a minute, don't you have it the other way around? That's true. I'm not a big fan of sharks either. I don't know how many votes am I going to lose. One can contribute to. I recognize Israel's true capital, opened the American embassy in Jerusalem, and recognized Israel and its sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Nobody else. They talked about it for years. For years and years, many, many presidents talked about the capital of Israel, Jerusalem, and they never did it. I did it. And Golan Heights, 52 years they've been meeting on Golan Heights. I did it. Last week, we reached a historic breakthrough in the Middle East, finalizing a groundbreaking agreement between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. People can't even believe it. Even the New York Times gave us a great editorial. They can't even believe it. We passed Veterans' Choice and Veterans' Accountability for our great vets. Nobody's done for the vets what I have. Nobody, not even close. We love the vets. And federal workers who failed and mistreated our veterans now can be told, you're fired. That's accountability. We couldn't fire them. We had sadists, we had thieves, we had some bad people. They let go of 9,000 people in the VA. They were bad people. They didn't love our vets. Now they have to love our vets. In a second term in office, we will create 10 million jobs in the next year. We will hire more police. We will ban sanctuary cities. We will appoint prosecutors, judges, and justices who believe in the rule of law, not the rule of that horrible mob that you get to watch on television. We will provide school choice in every home. We're gonna let you have school choice. That's a very important thing. The Democrats don't want anything to do with school choice. We will lower the price of prescription drugs, as I said. We will build and expand our energy infrastructure to a level that is even greater than what we have right now. And when I said before, we're number one by a lot. Nobody thought we'd ever be number one. And we are energy independent, which is very nice. And as we've been doing, we will end our reliance on China and other countries for drugs and other things. We will make our critical drugs, medicines, and supplies here in the United States. We will give tax credits to companies to bring jobs back to America. And if they don't do it, we'll put tariffs on those companies, and they'll have to pay us a lot of money. So what are they going to do? They're going to bring the jobs back. In every action, every moment, and every decision, I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for Pennsylvania. A lot of people got rich and got powerful at your expense. Now, these same liberal hypocrites want to open up borders and let violent mobs rule the streets while they live in Waldorf compounds and communities. They want to defund police while hiring private security. They want to let rioters burn churches while jailing you for praying in your church. They want to abolish school choice while sending their children to the best private schools in the land. They want to cancel you, totally cancel you, take your job, turn your family against you for speaking your mind, while they indoctrinate your children with twisted worldviews that nobody ever thought possible. You notice they're not knocking down statues and monuments anymore. Because when I saw what was happening, I took an old law and I signed a nice new executive order. And then I explained, 10 years if you knock down a statue, federal statue or monument. And they were all set to march on Washington. We're going to knock down some nice statues. And then they said, you know what? Let's not march. The march ended very quickly. There was no more marching. They said, 10 years, that's a long time. It's a long time to knock over a statue that many people love and many people don't. And there's a way of getting it down. You do it through a legal process. It'll go quickly if it's right. Joe Biden is the candidate of these privileged liberal hypocrites who hold you and your values in disdain. But you can send them all a thundering message on Election Day by voting for Trump Pence. Do we love our vice president? Do we love our vice president? I'll tell you. I watched Kamala last night, and I said, I'll take Mike. I'll take Mike by a lot. He's been a great vice president, actually. Pennsylvania is the state that gave us the Declaration of Independence, Valley Forge, Gettysburg, and generations of American patriots, just like you. You're patriots. You love this country. That's why you're here. You're sitting in this boiling, crazy hot sun. But you're smarter than me because with you, it's on the back of your head. With me, I'm going to go home and my wife is going to say, what happened? You look like a lobster. Look at the sun. This is great. I want to look like Lou, nice and dark, right, Lou? But with Lou, it's a little easier, I think. This is the state where workers got their hands dirty mining the coal and forging the steel that raised up the mightiest nation in the history of the world. And we're going to be stronger than ever before. Remember that we are going to be stronger than ever before. And that's happening right now. Proud citizens like you help build this country. And you know this, look. Together we're taking back our country. But I was just thinking, as I said, stronger. They want to come in and raise your taxes. They want to come in and put regulations on all of your factories and all of your jobs and all of your personal things. little things, and they laugh at it when I say it. The light bulb, those new expensive light bulbs. I said, what happened to the old ones? They're better. They said they were mandated out. I said, why? Nobody could explain why. I said, we're letting them back. The light bulbs are back. Dishwashers. They have dishwashers. They don't give you any water. They give you not enough water, so they're lousy. So what do people do? They press the button again and again. No water. I let them have lots of water. We just got back from Whirlpool in Ohio. They're thriving now because of what I did to competition from other countries. I tariffed them, and Whirlpool now went from a company that was just about over to a company that's thriving. Sink faucets, shower faucets. I won't say the third element of the bathroom because they always just bring that up. So I won't say that, but you know what I'm talking about. They don't allow water. You go into a new hotel, you turn on the water, there's no water. I opened it up. I said they could have as much water. I mean, does Pennsylvania have a problem with water? No. Yeah, you have a problem with water. You have too much of it, right? You have too much water. You got to get rid of it. So why are we having restrictors? They have restrictors on, so I took it off. These are little things. I tell you about them. A lot of people appreciate them. A lot of people don't know about it. But now you can go out and buy a light bulb for a tiny fraction of the cost. It's better. Won't last as long, but it's better. It's better light. Makes me look much better. That's a very important thing. But you can buy now faucets where water actually comes out. And so instead of having it like on for many times longer, and actually when I take a shower, I can have water hit my hair instead of drop. It's hard enough, my hair, without that. So now we can actually have water pouring out of our shower heads, okay? So a lot of good things. We've done a lot of things that nobody talks about, nobody writes about, but it's about quality of life. And I think the people really appreciate it. I really do. Not so easy to do. Not so easy to do. I don't think anybody else could have done it. Nobody else would have thought to do things like that, but nobody else would have done it. We're returning power to you, the American people, from Scranton to Easton. How's Ernie doing? Good? How good is Ernie, right? Is he great? Ernie Holmes. He was heavyweight champ, right? The champ. Larry, sorry about that. I know another one named Ernie Holmes. Larry Holmes, is he still in the area of, how good was Larry, right? That was probably Muhammad Ali's most dangerous fight. I've never seen anything like it. Muhammad would never go down, but Larry Holmes was a great champion, and I know he loved Easton. He used to tell me that I want to invest my money in Easton. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I hope he's doing well, but he was one hell of a fighter. From Scranton to Easton to Allentown, we're going to fight for every job, every family, every neighborhood, and every vote. Together we'll unite citizens of every race, color, religion, and creed as one people, one family, one glorious nation under God. That's another word they don't want you to say, God. You know that, right? Did you see they were doing something last night that was extremely basic and always has had the word God in it, and they decided to take the word God out. But this is where they're coming from. They're coming to get you. This is where they're coming from. And we're the wall between the American dream and total insanity and the destruction of the greatest country in the history of the world. We're all that stands. We're all that stands. And a typical Republican probably wouldn't get there, but I think I'm, very Republican in many ways, but your typical Republican would not be able to win. Like your area, this has always been a Democrat area, and yet the votes for Trump here are through the roof. You know how successful we were 4 years ago. Incredible. It's a great area. These are great people. They're great, hardworking, incredible people, and we love them. With your drive and devotion, we will win a historic victory on November 3rd, and we will make America greater than it's ever been before. I just want to thank the people of Scranton, the lack of home, okay? The lack of home for Joe Biden. Remember, the next time, we've got to stop him from saying these things. But you look at, he's going to make a speech tonight. It's going to be very interesting to see how he does. And I hope he does well. I'll be honest, I do. I hope he does well. I really hope he does well. But I also want him to tell the truth. He's got to tell the truth about things. And he's going to do a lot better if he does. But hopefully not well enough. Right now, we are leading a war that's incredible. But right now, we're leading in so many polls that they refuse to put out. We're doing so good in this state, in North Carolina, in Florida, in Texas, in Ohio, in Michigan. You know how many car plants are being built or expanded in Michigan? We're doing fantastically in Michigan. We're doing great in New Hampshire. These are real polls. These aren't suppression polls. These aren't polls where they do registered voters. Registered. No. You want to do voters that are going to vote. Registered voters. You want to do what's called likely voters. Likely. In other words, people that are likely to vote, not registered voters, many of whom have died, many of whom aren't going to vote. And then you want to do an even count. You don't want to do many more Democrats. They do a poll, many, right? Many Democrats, few Republicans. Trump is down by 6. And then you look and you say, well, if that poll is true, we're up by 10. So we're going to see, you're going to see. They did it last time. They had me losing every swing state. I think they had me losing like 9 states that I won. But he's going to lose, right? You were the first one that told me, Lou. He's going to lose 7 swing states. He's going to lose them all. He's down by 14. Washington Post, ABC. They had me down 1 week before the election, 12 to 14 points. The day of the election, because we complained that it was a fake poll. So they changed it the day of the election, and they had us just about even. Remember that whole big deal? We said, you can't say we're done, because that's called suppression. Then you say, hey, I love Trump, but I can't vote for him because I don't have the time, because he's not going to win. But if you would have gone out and voted, we would have won. The problem was last time for them, 2016, everybody went out and voted. There was no suppression. There was incredible exhilaration, except on the other side that they would not. You ever see those pictures of the craziness going on? But the polls were fake, just like their stories are fake, just like the news is fake. The polls are even worse. And we're now actually doing worse. As one of the most accurate polls was Rasmussen. And Rasmussen came out today. Did you see it? 51 for Trump. 51. I think they were one of the 3 most accurate polls. And the ones that are telling the truth. Sometimes, I mean, they have a poll that came out recently that was very favorable. They refused to release it. They didn't want the people to see it. What kind of stuff is this? That's why you're going to do a great job, right? You're going to make sure this stuff doesn't happen, but we're going to make sure too. So we're going to win this, and I think we're going to win it really big. When you see those people outside, and I mean, you can take this crowd and multiply it times, it looks like 100, right? You can multiply it times 100. But when you see this crowd and when you see the kind of enthusiasm, there's nothing like it. We're leading, by the way, even they admit, we're leading by enthusiasm, by numbers like they've never seen before, record numbers, meaning we have record enthusiasm and he has a record lack of enthusiasm. And that is a big factor. So I just want to thank all of the people from this incredible place. I mean, it's just a great place. I've been here for so long and so much, and I love it. I love the people. We're going to have the biggest victory. We're going to have a victory that will equal or surpass what we did in 2016. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
President Trump wrapping up his remarks there in Old Forge, Pennsylvania, just down the road from Scranton, Joe Biden's supposed hometown. Sorry for the audio issues there at the end. Apparently, I was in touch with my cameraman. All the media were having the same issue with the static in the audio towards the end, but hopefully you were able to hear enough to understand what he was saying, and that is that Joe Biden is dangerous and should not be elected president of the United States. Yes, President Trump's poll numbers have been climbing as of late, and we believe he will win big. But now is not the time for complacency. We must get out and do everything we can to support him. We will be back on the campaign trail with him as soon as the next one is announced. Hopefully we'll be soon. We'll provide full coverage just like we did this one, like we do at all of them. Support our mission, please, at rsbnetwork.com/donate. It's crucial that we we have the funds to be able to get out and campaign. It is not easy, folks. I promise you that. Tune in next week for all week live coverage of the Republican National Convention from Charlotte. It's our turn now, and I guarantee you it will not disappoint. We're going to send it back now to Old Forge, Pennsylvania, Liz Willis, and Alex Caldwell. Take it away.
And welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm your host, Liz Willis, for the evening for President Trump's remarks here in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. We hope you guys enjoyed President Trump's speech as much as we did, and we want to thank you for those who tuned in today. You had the best seat in the house, I guarantee you, because the sun is beaming down here. We want to remind you guys that we are almost entirely donation-based, so we rely on your donations to continue to travel the country and spread President Trump's message to millions of people. There's a number of ways you can donate to us. The first one, and one of the easiest, I think, is the YouTube Super Chat. So you can click the dollar sign in the bottom right-hand corner of the live chat, and you can donate absolutely any amount. I'll hopefully be able to read a few of those in just a moment before we cut off. So if you want a chance at getting a shout-out, make sure you jump into the YouTube Super Chat right now and get that shout-out done. The second way is by going to our website. That's www.rsbnetwork.com/donate. Moderators, I want to thank you guys so much for keeping the chat room fun, clean, and family-friendly today. Last favor, if you don't mind dropping those addresses down below so our viewers can see where to donate to Right Side Broadcasting Network. Now, don't forget, we are doing a cool little giveaway on behalf of RSBN. So if you donate via our website, $100 or more, you'll receive a RSBN box full of really cool RSBN gear. And while supplies last, a brand new copy of Uprising, Diamond and Silk's new book that was just released on Tuesday. So if you've been waiting to get your hands on that book, make sure you go to our website, donate $100 or more. And in the message box, make sure that you put your address. You guys, some of you are forgetting to put the address, and that's going to make it a little difficult sending out that package. The third way you can donate to RSBN is by a non-electronic way, and that is by sending a check to 1550 Opelika Road, Suite 6, Box 344, Auburn, Alabama 36830. So just to reiterate, those three ways were the YouTube Super Chat, our website, and by sending a check. We appreciate every penny helps. This is going to be a battle, but we are in it to win it. We're super excited for the remainder of the campaign rallies that President Trump has planned leading up to the November presidential election. Now, like we've promised all week, there was a big giveaway. Disney Coins is a precious metals company specializing in copper and silver coins, each of them with really cool designs specifying on different historical marks of the Trump administration. So if you want to check those out, go to dismecoins.com. That's DISMEcoins.com. There's 2 new designs every single month, and we have done a giveaway all week. I was really hoping you guys would enter more, because normally we have about 5,000 entries. Looks like we had around 500, but hopefully you guys have just been busy buying up their website. I know that we have some of the most supportive viewers in the world, so we do have that contest going on. I've been asking people all week, go and sign up, go and sign up. I guess some of y'all didn't, but some of y'all did. And I have the 3 winners right now, so I'm going to pull those up in just a second. While I'm pulling that up, make sure that you go on over to dismecoins.com. Check out their website. It's not too late to purchase and use our discount code. So the winners have already been chosen for this week's giveaway. However, the RSBN code is still active for the next 24 hours. So go check out some of their coins, and make sure that you use code RSBN at checkout for a percentage off your order. Drum roll, please. The 3 main winners. Now, you will be contacted via the email that you entered the giveaway with. So when you're contacted by Disney Coins, keep an eye out for it. Make sure it doesn't go to your spam folder. They will ask you. It's a first come, first served basis. You get to choose which prize you get. So have fun with it. First winner, Lynn Martin. Congratulations, Lynn Martin. Second winner, Celine Becerra. Becerra. Celine Becerra. Congratulations. The third and final winner, again, the third and final winner for Disney Coins DNC Week giveaway is Carl Beams. Again, that's Carl Beams. So congratulations, Lynn Martin, Celine Becerra, and Carl Beams. And be looking out for an email. My name's Liz Willis. I've been reporting today live on behalf of Right Side Broadcasting Network. You can follow me on my personal Instagram account. That's LizWillis. I'm also on Twitter at Liz Willis, LizWillis_. Don't forget to follow Right Side Broadcasting Network on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. Right Side Broadcasting Network or at RSB Network. I would like to ask my coworker to join me so he can help me in saying goodbye to these fellow Patriots. He did a great job today at your first official campaign stop, especially in this hot heat. So before we say bye, tell us, what did you think of your first big project covering your first Trump event?
I'll be honest, it was a lot of fun just to come out here today, see the president, speak to his supporters, do some interviews. You can't ask for anything better, so I really enjoyed doing it, and I hope to be able to go to a few more.
Well, I hope you can join us for a few more. You are a huge help, so thank you. And you are new to Twitter, a little bit on the social media side, a little bit new. So how can people find you, Alex?
On Twitter, my name is Real A. Caldwell. That's my Twitter handle, so you can go follow me on Twitter. I have Instagram as well. I think it's also Real Alex Caldwell, so you can find me on there.
All right, that about sums it up for today's event. Don't forget, donate to Right Side and buy some coins. God bless you, and good evening.